from my bum is for they cost $89. I got one from my grandpa and the same one from my father. Pin, all of these pin. How many miles if I lay them end to end?
Funny you should ask that. Assuming 5 inches per pen, 3.5 for the pen itself, 1.5 for the cap, and then simply multiply the number of pen, 1,600 times the total length of pen, 5 inches into 5 by 12 to get the number of feet leaving with us. Oh my God. 666.666. That's the devil's number. That's the devil's number. That's the devil.
1,600 pen.
Hello, everybody! Hope you all have your 4th of July coffee ready. I'm WATTO, the Flying Space Jew, and your announcer and sidekick for the George Lucas talk show. What a journey it's been. For those of you just tuning in, I don't think there's a way to provide sufficient context, but I'm going to try my hardest. Retired filmmaker and billionaire George Lucas, after having Lucasfilm, Star Wars, all his beloved creative babies stolen from him in a midnight raid by the Disney Corporation, leaving behind no ransom note, just a check for several $billion. Decided to pivot to a format that really showcased his strongest qualities. His personality, his charisma, his interpersonal skills, engaging with other human beings. And thus the George Lucas talk show was born, finally. A venue for George Lucas to show everyone what really lies inside his heart. After several years of doing the show in front of a live studio audience at the UCB Theater, seemingly we then bankrupted the UCB Theater. So for the last several months, we've gone online. PlanetScum.com. Yes, the planets come.live is where we have been doing these live streams, trying to raise money for different causes. It all started with us trying to raise money for the laid off UCB employees, and then became a series of R-list watch-a-thons to raise money for different organizations and institutions. But now we are done with R-list, and so to put a little hat, if you will, on these charity live streams before we go back next week to a regular format, the old George Lucas talk show with guests and no longer endurance tests. We're doing one final watch-along for the road. Of course, it's 5th of July, so we have to watch every episode of 1600 Penn to raise money for the first organization we'd raised money for back in season 1 of our list, the Museum of Moving Image, in previous Corona hotspot, Astoria, Queens. If that's not table setting, I don't know what is. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, retired filmmaker George Lucas.
Creator of Star Wars. And I'm very excited to be seeing you again this week, Watto.
Oh, always happy to see you, George. Always happy to see you. Last week was a wild one. I feel like you and I feel a little more normal this week, a little more balanced. Last week, I think we were both kind of on the edge.
Well, this is just a starting point. As we all know, if you read Joseph Campbell, you know that every story has a shape to it, every legend, every myth.
Yes.
And right now, it's good to start from a place of normal, because then we see where the story takes us.
Yes. It feels like last week we went through the end of one story cycle, and this is almost the beginning of a new story cycle.
Right. Last week we were on the volcano fighting. We were having a volcano fight.
Right. We were having a volcano fight. You and I were having it. We were having it with our audience. Both of us were having it with Tom Sharpling. There were many volcano fights happening.
But this is in some ways, even though we just ended a 7-part saga, and this is a self-contained saga, that might mean that the ups and downs are more volatile today. Who knows? We truly don't know.
That's very true. And let's say something. I think we should say this up front. We did last week, by the end of the live stream, which was a record live stream for us, $9,500, I believe, we raised. Landmark for us. We do feel like we have a lot of momentum going. The donation numbers have been growing every week. Now, it's a lot of the same viewers. We can only ask so much of them donating week after week after week. We're also getting burnt out. So next week, we will be doing a normal show. Normal show. But we've already promised that in August, we're going to do a Big Lake Watch-a-thon.
That's right. We don't want to totally give up on the idea of watch-a-thons or live streams, but we also have there are other things we want to do in this digital format.
Yes, we will still be doing watch-alongs. We will still be doing live stream fundraisers, but they will not be weekly. We're going to space them out. We're going to try to make them really count. And much like we have prepared this week and prepared for Big Lake next month, trying to assemble as many of the original talent as possible. You know, you have people like your Josh Gads, star of 1600 Penn, co-creator of 1600 Penn, who are doing these things reunited apart. You know, let's get all the Ghostbusters, all the Goonies, people's favorite properties. And we feel like there's an opportunity, we here at the George Lucas Talk Show, to reunite casts that are not getting the chance to reunite. You know what I'm saying? Shows that maybe were not appreciated in their time.
Yes.
And reuniting people to try to give them a second chance, a redemption.
Yes. What should we call? Should we call this unreunited reunited?
Unreunited reunited. Explain the logic of that.
Well, reunited apart. He's reuniting all these shows that are apart, and we're doing a show that hasn't been reunited. So they were unreunited, and we're reuniting them. So I think maybe we should call this unreunited reunited. I
feel like the logic of reunited apart is he's reuniting everyone, but
we can't take that. That's his. He has the IP for that.
I know, but I'm just trying to talk through this. He's reuniting everyone,
right?
But the link is but apart. Usually a reunion in person. These reunions distant because, of course, the pandemic.
But 1600 Penn hasn't been reunited, so we're reuniting something that's been unreunited.
Yes.
Or should we just call it reunited apart also?
No, I understand what you're saying. You're saying these are reunions that will be happening for the first time because there has not necessarily been. Okay, now Sharpling is suggesting reunited apart. Now, that might be a good name if we were reuniting the staff of Mad Magazine. That's the kind of ribald humor you might see.
When I made the second American Graffiti, we put the word more in front of it. Should we call it more reunited apart?
Hey, guys, we should let's start watching, and then we can decide this while we're watching.
I'm sorry for waking you up. We were getting very excited, brainstorming names. We started yelling. I woke him up.
Let me tell everybody where they can get it. If you guys go on Amazon Prime Video, there's a lot of apps. You can get it on your TV. The whole season you can get for under $10.
Now, can I set up a narrative?
Right.
Yeah.
Patrick, right before we started streaming, you mentioned to me that in these times of great crisis, Amazon, a terrible company who has done many awful things, has been offering people discounts towards future digital purchases if you ask them to not rush the shipment of your non-essential items, right? So you did that.
Yeah.
And in the process, saved a lot of money on your season of 600 Penn. If you have ordered from Amazon at any point in the last couple of months, you might have a balance of some money left there. So you might be able to get this season for less than $10. Now, Watto didn't think through that, despite the fact that he has several dollars saved up on Amazon. So he bought the season on iTunes.
Yeah.
Watto has since put in a refund request. So what Watto is attempting to do is he has put in the refund request. He is not going to open the files on iTunes. He is going to make a second purchase on Amazon for a discount and hope that he gets the money back from iTunes. But in a classic WATTO-style gambling issue that either will pay out big or lose him the farm, he might end up paying twice for 1,600 Penn. So I just want to set up that narrative. Now, last week, Watto bid on paying too much to have Chuck E. Cheese delivered to his home.
Right.
They forgot the pepperoni. He put in a refund request. Full refund. Watto got free terrible pizza. So we're hoping Watto's got the hot hand that will continue, and he's going to end up now saving.
But there is a chance, however, that you will end up watching 3,200 Penn.
I'm also hearing it's cheaper on Fandango now. I think you can also find it other places if you want to. It's available.
Yes.
Like most
I remember
rental services have it.
Yeah.
I just, if I can have just a non sequitur. I remember when my buddy Steve made the movie Hook that I had a little cameo in. There were a lot of pirates in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The pirates, they do a lot of pirating.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes down at the bay.
Yes.
Well, I live San Francisco Bay is a bay that I like.
Yeah.
And I like the movie Hook, which has pirates in it.
Let's start the show.
Okay, hold on. I'm just attempting.
Okay,
now,
but also here's what I've noticed. I think the best way to do this, Amazon takes a buffering second, it seems like.
Okay.
So bring it up, pause it before it starts, and then we will press play so it does not get screwed up because of the buffering.
I get very excited because it says you purchased episode 1, and I'm thinking to myself, purchased it? I paid for it. But then I realized they're talking about this show.
Yeah. All right. So then, as soon as we will start, I'll talk through some of these fundraising goals that we've got. All right. Let's.
Hold on. The purchase is going through. This is very sensitive. Watto's trying to save money here.
Great. Okay, well, Watto, while you're doing that, I'll tell everybody.
Yes.
We're also doing a fundraiser today. It's for the Museum of Moving Image. Watto talked about it already.
Yes.
They've been very helpful during this and have set up a thing where if you donate a certain amount of money, which I'll show you in a few minutes, you can get a membership to the museum, which is huge, for 25% off, which is also huge. That's a lot of money you get to save off of this. And they're not that expensive. So I will bring up the whole list of them. If you donate a certain amount of money, you'll get a membership to the museum. In the next few months, they're doing a ton of digital stuff online, different panels, different screenings, stuff like that. And it's been really rad so far to see what they've been doing.
Look, we'll talk about this extensively. Just before we start, and I have it ready to go here.
Okay.
But I just want to say, Watto thought he had like $7 or $8 saved up on Amazon. He, in fact, only had $1. He forgot that he used the previous dollars renting the King of Staten Island. So Watto has potentially spent $20 in an attempt to save $1. I just want to set up that narrative.
All right, let's start playing. You ready, George?
Okay, ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
All right.
3,200 Penn.
Ooh, starts with an American flag.
3,200.
This is a day of destiny.
Turning the volume down. I mean, you talk about Campbellian storytelling. A day of destiny. This is setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of big things are going to happen. And here we have right off the bat, Skip. Skip, our hero, our Luke Skywalker. Right?
That's right.
The son of a man cloaked in immense power. Control of the
sons.
galaxy. Yes.
Fathers and sons. Revenge. The word revenge is mentioned within the first minute.
Yes.
That's a direct homage.
And fireworks. This is very topical.
This is how I end every movie, by blowing something up.
Yes.
All right, guys. So here's the list. Here's the list of memberships. I know it says 5 available. We'll work on that. If we end up doing more, I'm going to talk to them, and they said we can readjust as we go.
But for as of right now, we can guarantee the first 5 people to donate $56.25 get a membership.
Yeah.
Oh.
The lowest tier level membership.
That's reduced price tickets,
lowest.
screenings and events, unlimited admission for 1, membership in the MOMI, Conversation Club. And once again, we want to remind people there will be digital screenings happening through MOMI very soon. So even if you live geographically distant, that doesn't make that much of a difference because right now, even the people who live a block away cannot go inside.
Yes, that is me, and I cannot go in.
Yes.
So then as we go up, you get more. A lot of them come with free tickets to screenings, and a lot of screenings are included in the membership no matter what. So I would say the majority of screenings are included in the membership.
And I'll say this too, MoMI is famous for having amazing guest speakers, whether they're sort of critics, intellectuals, or people involved with the film. Very often people don't make a great many public appearances. If you're a fan of the Muppets, the Museum of Moving Image now has the largest collection of items from the Henson archive, and they're very often doing sort of Henson retrospective events with people like Frank Oz.
Yeah,
I would have no reason to believe, and I'm not saying this with any inside knowledge, that those events would not continue online.
Yeah.
So
they have been. They have been.
They've already been doing it. Yes.
Craig Shaman's been doing them almost weekly with a ton of great people. Frank Oz, Dave Gold.
Frank Oz, yes.
I know George and I last year saw Austin Pendleton introduce the Muppet movie, which was very cool.
They're great. These are great things to do, and this is really this is an organization that we don't want to lose. And you know, everything in New York is really balancing on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about events that they've been to at MoMI that they've enjoyed very much, with Ryan Johnson, Kenneth Lonergan.
Yes,
it's a fantastic organization.
Here's another thing we'll say: Museum of Moving Image, one of the few places in New York City with full 70mm potential. They every year do multiple screenings of some of the greatest films of all time in 70mm. That's the kind of thing we want to make sure still exists when it is healthy to see a movie again.
Although you can, honestly, digital projection is as good, and you.
George, no. For once, we're going to stop you here.
No.
People are asking, George, people are asking if they donate to the Bitly and then send me the info for membership. Yes, that will be how that works. Yes. Once I start to get more and more of them, I will readjust and talk to people at the museum.
We want to make this very clear. The museum is very supportive of what we're doing here today. And so the idea is, if you donate through the Bitly to Patrick, he will pass along that info and you will get the membership tier that you have paid for.
Yes.
That's the idea. And hopefully as this goes on, if there is a lot of action, we'll be able to continue promising more and more.
And I also want to say, while we're starting, I know we should be paying attention to this pilot, but while we're starting, the reason we want to do this is because we want to get a chair in the...
Now, this is very important. Our first week doing our list, we raised money for Museum of Moving Image. We raised $1,300, right?
Yeah.
Almost 1,600 Penn. We raised 1,300 Penn, okay? At 2,500, you get a chair with a plaque with your name on it. So we are 1,200 away because we can add it to our previous total.
And when people go in to see screenings there, some people will sit and they will see on a chair that the George Lucas Talk Show has donated money to the museum.
That's what it will say. It will say the George Lucas Talk Show.
So for people who are familiar with this show, they'll know what that means. And for people who aren't, it will be perhaps the first they're learning that George Lucas has a talk show.
Right. Yeah. Now, here's the idea. At every 2,500, we become eligible for another chair. So we want to get as many chairs as we can.
Because I think for the second chair, Watto, we probably want to get your name on a chair,
exactly what I'm thinking. The second chair would just say Watto on a beautiful golden plaque.
And for the third chair, it would be so great to get Snack Trick Nap Snore.
You took the words right out of my mouth, George. I swear to you, I was on the stream with Patrick planning this out earlier. That was the exact idea. 3 chairs. One would say the George Lucas Talk Show. Yeah. One would say Watto, and the third one would say Snack Trick Snore.
Unless someone comes up with a better chair-specific name for Patrick, that's always a possibility.
We'll take pitches. Look, we'll take pitches, and the sky's the limit here. As many chairs as we can get, we'll fill up.
Fourth chair, I think, must be Arliss. This is a suggestion.
Yes, and what stretch goal do we get an Arliss name? Yes, that is the answer. The 4th chair will be Arliss Michael.
Yeah.
But we will make that name more Arliss.
Yeah. At the bare minimum, we'll put an S into that Michaels. We'll put a $sign.
So let's give a little bit of background on what's going on the show. We've got President Gilchrist, who's Bill Pullman.
Right. We just kind of meta casting because he has played the president once.
Yeah.
But not just that.
Yes.
You start out with Star Wars.
Yes.
And then you go to the Mel Brooks satire Spaceballs.
Yes.
In which he plays Lone Star. Then he plays a president who fights aliens. So a science fiction president.
Yes.
And here we are in a father-son saga
Right.
completing the circle of Star Wars to Spaceballs to Independence Day to 1600 Penn, back to Star Wars.
Now, part of the premise of 1600 Penn is that his oldest son, Skip Gilchrist, is from a previous marriage. He is the black sheep. The idea seems to be that at a certain point, the father remarried, started a new family, tightened his act into a presidential, at least electable sort of presentation. And so now he has this new family. His wife, JENNA ELFMAN, his teenage daughter, played by Martha McIsaac, and 2 younger children. And he's got this picture-perfect presidential family, which Skip does not really fit into that picture. He is very accident-prone. But at the beginning of this episode, we saw the teenage daughter, Martha McIsaac, taking a pregnancy test.
Oh, no.
So perhaps there's some other potential personal life controversies.
There's the Padme-style pregnancy in the offing.
But I was also going to say it's a little bit like Anakin, where it's like Anakin had this previous life, then he like abandons his first children, moves on, ascends to a seat of power, and his kid shows up knocking on his door, is like, I'm going to make things a little difficult for you.
Now, one of the things that I think is really amazing, it's really bold right out of the gate. We meet Skip Gilchrist, and within 5 minutes, they've revealed he's the president's son.
Yes.
That's something they could have saved for season 2. That could have been the season 2 finale.
I mean, usually that waits until episode 5. I feel like that's the way most TV shows are structured. You don't find out that someone is someone else's father until the 5th episode.
Yes. And yet they obviously, storytelling changes with each generation because audiences become savvy. That's why you couldn't have a Strange Magic back in 1977 because the audience would not have been able to understand it.
No.
The way we tell stories is something that evolves. This is something that I'll be exploring in my museum, the Museum of Narrative Art.
Yes, yes.
I want people to know, if you guys want the memberships, email me, and that's how I will know you want a membership.
Yes.
You can you donate, that's great, but email me if you want to get the membership, because then I'll make sure to put it in the tally. I've also tweeted out the list of all of the things. So if you go to my Twitter, it's the most recent tweet.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, who's this pulling up? There's a limo pulling up. Everyone is looking at it with anticipation as Skip. It seems like I think he's doing some media training.
But another fire has broken out.
Oh, I mean, talk about the lava planet.
No.
Let's also say
great digital special effects. That is digital. That is digital.
Yes.
That is a digital special effects.
Yes, it is.
That is digital fire.
And that used to be impossible on television. You couldn't do that.
Then I made it happen.
Yes.
Oh. All thanks to a little guy we like to call young Indiana Jones.
WATTO. Oh, okay.
No, you gotta, Watto, you were a big part of it. You were a big step in it. You were an important part of the process.
Yes.
You don't get to fake fire without Watto.
Absolutely not. No, WATTO was the original fake fire.
But you do not get to Watto without baby Indiana Jonesy.
Yes, okay. We have the great Andre Holland here. Seems to be playing the press secretary, maybe. Does that seem to be his role here?
Of the Nick, High Flying Bird.
Yes, Moonlight, one of our finest actors. And I say finest in both meanings of the word, if you get my drift. He is a very handsome man who exudes sexual energy, but also a very, very fine actor who has really developed his craft like a blade.
I do want to say,
Skip just said to his father, he just said to his father, "I love you so much," and the president responded, "Okay."
Okay, George, look at how much money we've raised already.
Oh, we're almost to the devil's number.
Okay, so we got to get some. No, pull that back up, Patrick. Pull that back up. Someone is asking. Marvin Hamlish 517 is asking, has Watto eaten a pastrami sandwich since last week? No. Watto has been a little bit, I don't know what the term is. It's been a little bit touchy for him. He finally felt ready to order a new pastrami. He was getting ready this week. He thought it would be very funny if at the beginning of the live stream, he was taking the final bites of a pastrami sandwich so that Tom Sharpling could not foil his plans. it turns out his local delicatessen is closed for the 4th of July. I don't understand that math. But I'll say this. At $750, Watto is going to make himself a very nice bagel.
Good.
Okay? With all the fixings. At $750. No, wait. Go back to the chart. Because at 666, only $3 away, Watto is chugging an energy drink. Do we want to set the goal for 800, 900, and 1,000 right now?
Sure, let's do it.
What kind of bagel? It's an everything bagel. It is fresh, and it will have all the fixings. I'm not going to tell you any more. You have to pay if you want to see. Okay, so 750, 666 energy drink. George is inflating right now. 800. Patrick, what should we offer for 800?
Let's offer. What could we offer? People keep suggesting that a stretch goal for me should be to shave my beard, and I want to make it very clear that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No.
We'll do anything else. I'm trying to grow it out to see how far it will grow.
Right. Watto shaved this week and immediately regretted it because he thought it might make him look a little bit less like he's having an emotional breakdown. And then he realized, no, that's all over his face. Now he just looks very, very tired.
Yeah.
But like he's trying to look like he's doing okay. Shave just the mustache. Is there any way you would consider that?
No, guys, come on.
Oh, just the middle of the mustache.
No,
A reverse Hitler.
no,
A reverse.
Eyebrows.
no, we're not doing it. We'll think of something else.
Okay, but can you offer something else for 800, Patrick?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with this PayPal. It keeps coming in.
That's good.
We're at 743.
Okay, well, it sounds like I should get my energy drink and my bagel. I know I can't eat it yet, but I should get it ready.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you discuss. Maybe we don't need a stretch goal for 900 because it's
Patrick. Okay, Patrick should shotgun something. I have Sprite. We all know I have Sprite. I think I have some maybe one can of seltzer left. I would be down to shotgun either one of those. George, the show has a good cast. There's a lot of really funny people in it, and there's a lot of good guest stars that are gonna be showing up too.
Well, so far it has action, it has heart, it has humor.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want from anything in life.
Nothing.
Action, heart, and humor. It has sports, so I feel like we have a connection, a bridge to Arliss, from Arliss to this, that there's tennis in the first episode. I would not have predicted that.
Yeah.
But most of all, it's about family. It's about leadership, yes, but also about family. And every actor on this, you watch, it's similar to Arliss. You're seeing the connections form as we get to know these characters immediately. Mm-hmm. I like these Secret Service people. These are kind of like stormtroopers or battle droids. They don't say a lot, but when they do, they'll say like Roger, Roger, things like that are fun.
Yeah.
Look in the background, we see 6566, almost the devil's number. Did you see that, Patrick?
I
see
did.
that number in the back?
I did. I want everyone to know we are at 4 Momi individual out of 5. I'm going to go and see if we can get the number up.
Now, here's the thing. There is a goal. I have a couple of things today. There's a thing that if we can raise 1,600 5 times today, as we saw before, we saw the devil's number 666, but a 5 inserted in there. That 5 is for the 5 times that we need to raise 1,600 today. There's a friend here at Skywalker Ranch that I'd like to bring on the show as kind of a guest host. I won't say who it is.
Yeah.
But Patrick, as producer of the show, he said we have a very full show today. And you said it's too much. It's too much. We have to keep to the format. But if we get to $8,000, then I'll tell him to come out here and he'll take over the show.
Okay. Wow.
So that's at $8,000.
Okay.
So that's simply 5 1600s.
Yeah, and we're at 773 right now.
So if it doesn't happen, it's fine. I'll tell them they don't need to come out and because they're actually busy. They're working on something. But if we reach that point, because Patrick was emphatic, and normally you said this is too much. We have too many guests. We have too many things going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on.
But I'm very excited. I think people will have a lot of fun if they could see him.
I agree. I think people will be happy about it, and we'll make sure that happens after we are done watching 1600 Penn. So we have a lot going on. I do want to tell everybody we did just get the number of individual memberships up to 10. So we have 10 available now for individuals. 10. That's more memberships than there are episodes of the Skywalker saga. That's true, which means we have six more available. So if anyone else wants to get an individual, now's the time to hop on in. If we round up a bit with a donation, are we able to get the membership, or do they? No, they don't have to be the exact amount. If you want a membership and you have surpassed a certain number, let me know and I will put it towards that number. So even if you donate $400, I can get you on the Momi Aficionado Duel. That's more than happy to do that. And everyone who has emailed so far, I have your name on the list. Now, Patrick, now my museum, which hasn't opened yet, I don't need donations. I'm paying for that. Oh, Martha McIsaac is pregnant. Oh no. Yes, you're paying for it, George. Yeah, I hope she doesn't die of grief or sorrow, sadness. It would be very sad. I'd be so sad. I don't think that would be. I'd be very surprised if that's a story point that they borrow, because it is a downer. George, big update. What's the big update? Big update. You ready? Yeah. I wish WATTO was here for this. Well, we are almost at $1,200 to get us that chair, guys. We're so close. We're so close to the chair. Less than $80. WATTO's going to get his bagel. Oh, he's left the building? No, I believe just the bagel's in the other room. The bagel is in the kitchen. Hey, George, guess what? What? I got another update for you. Another update. We're getting that chair, guys. We're getting that chair. Thank you so much. That chair. Chair number 1. I'm so excited that whenever this plague is over and the Museum of the Moving Image can reopen, one of the chairs in their biggest theater, is that right? It is. It's in the Redstone Theater. I will pull up a photo of it. The Redstone Theater. A very impressive theater. I'm surprised, frankly, that they have any chairs left for us to put names on, because it's a grand theater. It's a great theater, but it is a privilege and an honor for the George Lucas Talk Show to be. We've achieved a form of immortality, regardless of what happens with this show. If you go to the Museum of the Moving Image and sit in a chair, you might be sitting in the George Lucas Talk Show's chair, or you might even better be sitting behind it. You can look at the name on the back of the chair. Yes, it's a very, very cool theater, and it's a cool thing to be a part of. We've done it. We've achieved our main goal for the day before the first episode of 1600 Penn has even ended. We're in the final 2 minutes of the main episode. And there's a pizza. That's exciting. And the family is all together. And we needed to get out of this house. Allies, like any family, have differences. He's making a speech to the public, but he's also we're seeing a private moment. So we're seeing the public and the private interwoven via montage. Which is exciting. This is cinema. This is what movies are all about. And here we go. We end on a lovely moment, of tolerance and love, and it's beautiful. Even in the chaos of this world, we're going to be just fine. I mean, that is a message
that resonates in 2020 more than they could have imagined. And now we have Skip watching Jay Leno as himself.
Yeah.
And that Jay Leno is, and would this have been, what year was this? This is 2013?
2012. This was 2012.
This is 2012. So what was Jay Leno's television status at that point? Was he back on the Tonight Show?
This would have been post Conan.
Post Conan, pre Fallon Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, are we just going to roll right through? Or are we just going to pause it?
Let's hold and wait for Watto to come back. I'm not sure where he is. We'll start at 3:45. We are, I do want to say, at $1,408 already. And let me go through. I have anyone who's emailed me with the membership that they want, they're good to go. We have 3 more classics left. We have 3 more individuals.
Hold on. I have to break the bad news to Watto. We didn't get the chair.
Yeah, Watto, I'm sorry.
We didn't get the chair.
What do you mean? We haven't gotten the chair yet?
No, it means we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
We didn't get it.
I'm so sorry, Watto.
Watto, I'm really sorry.
I'm very confused. We have
Watto, you're confused because this is a fun prank that we're doing on you. We got the chair.
Watto,
you fell for it. We have the chair.
Oh my God! Wow, these numbers are getting up there fast. Okay,
that's right. We are almost to 1,600.
Well, we need to figure out what we're going to do at 1,600.
Yes.
It should be something special.
Watto, let me just say how many ones we have left for each.
Okay.
Just so in case people want to hop on.
Okay. And maybe I chug the energy drink while you read these.
Sure. As of right now, we have 3 classics left, 3 individuals left, 2 duels left, 1 aficionado.
Duel of the Fates.
1 aficionado and 2 aficionado duels.
Okay.
And now if we keep these coming up, that might change. We might be able to get more, but that's where we're at right now.
Now, Bryson, can I ask for a full screen? Because the magic of the energy chug is how quickly my eyes tear up. Okay, ready?
Wow. Okay, Watto. Oh, Watto.
Watto's doing great.
Mm.
Wait, did the second episode just start auto playing for Watto?
No, we're
out of the room. You were out of the room.
Yeah. We're gonna press play at the same time, Watto.
Okay, so I got to reset this episode. Okay. Okay. Watto's doing great.
Hey, also, George, you actually need to get hyped, George.
Oh, join the club, George.
We're at 1571, which is great.
All right.
Let's start the episode, and then, George, you can get hyped at the start of the episode.
Okay, wait a second. Which episode are we starting?
Episode 2.
Yeah, yes, we are. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Now, I'm not going to get hyped until... Ooh, Morning Joe is already in there.
Yep.
I sometimes will watch Morning Joe if I'm up very late because because for me it's live. It's basically in the middle of the night.
Now let's say, of course, this show. When is this show from? 2015, 16,
12.
12. This show premiered in 2012.
I believe so.
Jesus Christ, the time it just goes by, does it not? No, I was going to say the Morning Joe we're watching on this show in 1600 Penn is a prequel to the Morning Joe we have now, because in this Morning Joe the two of them are not fucking yet.
That's right. This is like Anakin and Padme in episode 1.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
NFY.
NFY. What does that mean?
Hey guys,
what you said. Since
we
what you said.
have a guest.
What?
We have a guest. I'm gonna bring her in. You know her from a lot of stuff. If you saw The Descendants, she's in The Descendants. But if you're watching 1600 Penn,
I am.
She plays Marigold Gilchrist.
Marigold Gilchrist! Oh my God!
My goodness.
Guys,
Hello.
How are you?
thank you so much for having me. This is so awesome. You guys are doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you for being our guest.
Definitely, I'm honored.
Let's also say, I think there's another thing you need to thank us for.
And what's that?
A little bump in residuals, right? I mean, we're all watching the show right now.
No, I wanted to get on and ask, like, why and how 1600 Penn? Because I had honestly I just watched the first episode of it.
Yeah.
Just like 2 weeks ago, randomly. I hadn't even seen it since. So I would love to know why you guys chose that and like where that came about, because it's kind of back in the annals.
Patrick, do you want to take this?
Patrick,
Sure.
and I'll go. I as a stretch goal, I have to go get hyped, so I'm going to leave for a minute. I've heard this story before.
Absolutely, no worries.
I'll be right back.
So
And
Amara,
let's very quickly, just to set a little table for you.
Yeah.
Okay. This started out as us. There, you just came up in the opening credits, holding some dirt in your hand.
That's the one. That photo, you know, it's funny. That photo was actually taken by my mom in Hawaii while we were shooting The Descendants. And I guess they added it in. I know I'd forgotten about that too.
I will say, and I don't mean this as any criticism of you. Weird choice for an opening credits photo.
Weird choice. That's exactly what I thought. I don't know. At the time I had no control. You can talk
Of
to me
course.
about it.
Yes. So a little bit of table setting.
Mhm.
This started the weekend of May the 4th.
Mhm.
So about 2 months ago
My
now.
birthday, actually.
Really?
My birthday. Yes. Thank you. Belated, but yeah.
So Star Wars Day, because Watto's from Star Wars, George Lucas made Star Wars. We watched every Star Wars movie for 30 hours straight, raising money for charity.
Oh my gosh. How could I possibly forget? You know, I do have a confession to make. I was a little nervous to come on and meet you because I have never in my life seen a single Star Wars movie.
That's great.
That
Never
is
in my entire life. And you know what? It's kind of at this point, like it's a joke between my brother and I. It's just one of the, it's like Pulp Fiction, you know? It's like when you haven't seen it, it's kind of better to just not see it.
If you made it this far, keep going.
Exactly. I'm planning on dying without seeing any of those movies. Mostly I'm not a super.
George is not here. It's fine. Just don't bring it up now that he's back.
All right, he's back.
So yes, you love the Star Wars movies. You've seen them.
Absolutely, every
Right.
single last one of them.
Right.
Are the ones the prequel? Are the prequels the ones people don't like?
Watto is the one from the prequels. He's
Oh shit! The prequels.
Yeah.
Are great. Never
I'm
mind.
really sorry.
No, if you need to watch any of them, to only watch the first two, and then you can get out of there. Because
Okay, all right.
they
Out of it,
did after that. The prequels are the only good ones, and even then, only really the first two.
All right.
So we watched all of them to raise money for charity. And then at some point within those 30 hours, we started talking about Arliss, the HBO comedy about sports agents from the 90s.
Yeah.
Then Robert Wool, star and creator of Arliss, came on, and suddenly it became this challenge. If we raise over a certain amount of money, we will watch every episode of Arliss for charity.
Uh-huh.
So we've been doing that for the last 7 weeks.
Okay.
Now, several weeks ago, Patrick is going to tell you what happened.
Well, I mean, I noticed on Twitter that 1600 Penn still has a lot of followers, even though the account's been inactive for 8 years.
Has that since 2012.
Not back up again.
Yeah, they have like 5,300 followers or something like that. And I was like, that's a lot for a show that's canceled. I want to get more followers.
Maybe 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I want to get more followers than that account. So I made a sort of a crusade. Is that the right word, Watto?
Yes. Patrick's argument was, as someone who still makes new tweets,
Yeah.
I should have more followers than an account that has not tweeted in 8 years.
Yeah.
That's for me as well.
Sure, yeah. So then it just came up on here and we were like, what's the next logical show we should watch? Oh, it's 1600 Penn because of this.
No. What happened was
I don't remember then.
Benji Sammet, Dan Hernandez,
Yes.
staff writers on 1600 Penn
Yeah.
came on the show.
You're
They
right.
were wearing their swag, their production swag. They wanted to raise money. So
much
they
swag.
said, how about
Yes.
if we raise over a certain amount, you promise people that you'll do 1600 Penn.
Yeah.
And it also then turned out that to time it out because of Arliss, it would end up being the 5th of July. Very patriotic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, of course. I know, perfect timing. Shit, I should have totally pulled out my swag as well. I have a couple 1600 sweaters somewhere in the closet.
Okay, now.
I mean,
oh my God! Wait, I didn't even know if you were wearing that. That was the one. We got those at the wrap party. I think they gave out those, and then they gave out little jackets with the presidential seal. So I think I those somewhere.
This was all we could find.
Look, I'm not trying to get you to spill tea and gossip too quickly, but I have a big question for you.
Okay, and what's that?
You were very little itty bitty when this show was shot.
Yep, look a lot different now. People seem shocked that aging happens, but yeah, I was 12.
When your swag, was it child sized and now it is too small for you, or did you get adult size swag that you have now grown into?
Oh, you know
And
what?
if you can't answer that, it's fine. I know NDAs and everything
about the swag you're giving out. Yeah, they are very sensitive about that, but I think they'll have to forgive me for exposing this one in an interview. I think they didn't, because it was only Benjamin, who played my brother Xander, and I were the only two kids on that show. We were the only pint-sized people.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of didn't deviate from just making like the normal, they just made them for the crew members. So I think I got probably like a very small one, and my mom's is the one that I actually wear now. So my mom got some, and that's the stuff.
And that is good. It is good that you made it clear there were no children working on the crew of 1600.
No, that's
breaking child labor laws. There were no like toddler grips.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
No, I mean, there might be junior writers on the show, but they were not actual juniors.
Oh my God. Maybe some of the writers' kids were throwing in ideas or something, but never on set. I know.
Don't say that. No, you'll get sued to the high heavens.
Well,
personally, yes.
Oh shoot! We had a pretty good friendship, so I'm hoping they come to me first. But
that's good.
Here's a question, because I mean, you've worked on many projects. You've been acting since you were very young. You continue to work and everything. Is 1600 Penn one of those projects that you have continued to maintain relationships with the people who've worked on it, or is that one of those ones where you haven't spoken to people in 8 years?
It's kind of I think it's kind of the same situation with every project. I think there's those like one or two people that you really connect with, working with beyond a professional relationship, that you kind of keep in touch with. Josh Gad and I, for sure, actually just a few years back. I mean, we don't really keep in touch, but a few years back, I believe, there was something. He had a new show coming out, and him and I were talking about that, and ended up going to a press party for that. And but 1600 Penn, I so cherish all the memories I have with everybody on that set. But I was just young at the time too. I think I was 12 when I shot that show. So it was kind of just like Ben and I were the same age, and then everybody else, of course, were adults. So we were really texting like 30-year-olds at the time, but we all still, had a good relationship. And that's the same with like people from the Descendants and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this George has to get hyped as a stretch goal? He seems to have come back in with a tub of Greek yogurt. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Oh, yeah. Let me show people where we're at. Hang on. We are at 1641 raised.
Wow.
Awesome.
So we've crossed the titular donation amount. We've crossed $1,600.
That's amazing.
Let's make George full screen for a second, because I just want to know what this is.
He's pouring honey into his Greek yogurt.
All right, he knows how to get it going. I might have some Greek yogurt in here too.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to put the pressure on you, but that might raise some money if we could.
Okay, if you guys can type for 1 second.
Yeah. Go grab it.
One thing.
I heated the honey, so it's hot honey.
Why did you heat the honey, George?
So I could have hot honey.
George, while you're doing this, I want people to know we have 3 more individual memberships. They've upped the number again for us.
Oh wow! How many have we given away so far?
We've given away 10 so far.
This is great. I love how much Momi is working on this. The bottle of honey specifically says, "Don't microwave." That's what LED light is saying in the chat.
Oh, let me check and see if mine says that.
Is it a bear or is it a classic cylinder, George?
Oh, it says "Do not microwave" in this container.
Cool. So there might be some chemtrails inside.
No, it's fine.
Hot honey,
right.
hot honey, George.
Hot honey, hot honey, hot honey, George. Hot honey, hot honey.
I am sad because I finished my yogurt last night. I would have saved it and eaten it today had I known.
You know what? At 1600, have we got to 1600 yet?
We're at 1641, George.
Wow. What did we do for 1600?
We didn't do anything. We didn't have a chance to set a stretch goal. We got there too fast. Okay, George has put 3 glass straws inside a tub of Greek unflavored.
Unflavored. Well, now it's got hot honey. It's hot honey.
It's got
flavored.
hot honey in it. It's got the hot honey. And then now he's going to drink the yogurt out of 3 straws.
Sure.
I have to say, this almost looks like a Star Wars character, right? This visual of 3 white straws coming out of a gray beard.
All right, everybody. Sorry, I had to heat my honey as well.
Oh, here we go. That's okay. We get it.
Don't worry. All you miss is George is sucking yogurt out of 3 glass straws.
All right. Well, everybody, do you guys have yogurt as well, or?
I finished mine last night. Let me go see if I have any more. Hang on.
Watto has, for charity, Watto made a very nice bagel, which he has not shown. So he's going to eat his bagel. It's got scallion cream cheese, gravlax,
I don't like this.
sliced onion, and capers.
It gets all wet at the top. Is that happening over there for you? Wait.
No, see, George is just sucking.
Never mind.
You gotta pour out. You gotta pour out. If it gets wet on the top, you pour that out.
So you have the same brand of yogurt.
Okay.
I think while you were gone, we were mentioning that so we were talking about Star Wars Day. And I would like to formally thank you for ruining my birthday every single year of my life, because I was born May 4th, 2000. And every time.
May the 4th be with you.
Yep, there you go. It's Star Wars Day. So nobody really cares about my birthday. They care about,
everybody. Everybody cares about your birthday now.
Yes.
Okay.
They know it's easier. They can remember it.
I don't have any yogurt. I do have pudding. So I'll say this.
Patrick,
as long as
it's $100 in the next 5 minutes, I will do a shot of this pudding, and I'm diabetic.
You got to squeeze it. You're going to squeeze it into your mouth, no spoon, right?
No, we want it. We want it.
Yes.
I'll squeeze it into my mouth.
You have an EpiPen on hand.
It's fine. It's fine. Look, right here. It's right here.
All right. Let me get my honey.
So $100 by 4:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Now, Patrick, people are asking, would you consider putting hot honey in the
You know what? I will, because I have honey. I will do that.
What's the heating of the honey?
I don't know.
Of that.
It's the thing that George just decided to do. And George is an artist.
Well,
and you
here's the thing.
The process.
Here's the thing. They say that honey never goes bad. They say it's the one food that never goes bad. And yet, sometimes you go to get honey and you realize it's sort of like it's become solidified.
With the little
I thought,
right?
Yeah. Which I think is a version of going bad.
Yeah.
You can still eat it, but it's not as good as it was.
Sure.
It's sort of like Anakin, maybe a quarter of the way through episode 3.
Sure.
It's not fully bad yet. He hasn't killed children, but he's not great. This isn't him at his best.
Amara, you get what he's talking about. You understand,
right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. This is like sorry for all the birthday talk.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You need to co-opt. Don't think of it. You know how like when there's a marriage, people will say, "Oh, I'm not losing a this. I'm gaining a this." Don't think of Star Wars as taking your birthday away. Add it to your total. Make your birthday. Make Star Wars about your birthday.
Yeah.
You know what? I just changed.
Amara, you're 12 while you're filming this.
Yeah, I believe so. It was 2000.
2012. Did you audition? Are you offer only at this point in 2012?
You got a hot hand. You've just been in The Descendants.
That did give me a little bit of a bump, but
you were popping.
I found that a lot of people are very cautious with child actors.
Sure.
Which is understandable. Kids and animals are hard to work with. I have come to understand as I've gotten older. I've also been told.
And I feel like people say, well, you don't just hire the kid, you hire their parents.
That's the biggest one too. So yeah, your parent definitely gets a rub. I had my mom with me the whole time, and she was fantastic and always very supportive. And so basically the process for 1600 Penn was, I remember when I got the audition, they had sent me the script through my agent, and then along with the script, which is interesting, I'd actually never seen this done on any other project that I was sent, but they had for all of the they had references for all the characters, for other characters, right? So they sent this photo sheet with other actors that had played other characters in film or TV as a reference for, you know, this character is kind of similar to Skip, and this character is kind of similar to Becca, and, you know, all that. And so the reference for Marigold was actually Scotty from The Descendants, which is the that I had played. Yeah. So they were trying to emulate a bit of Scotty into the role of Marigold, and saw that. So initially they didn't, I didn't go in for just an audition. I went in for a test, which was, you know, the last.
You went straight to testing. Man, you had heat. You had heat.
And I tested with all the boys that read for Xander's part as well.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was that. That was interesting though. I'd actually forgotten about that. And then I think it had been a couple days before. So I went in and I met Jason, the director, the producer, a few of the writers, and then they called me 2 days later, and we ended up shooting the pilot in April that year.
You know what's so crazy about that story? Watto saw, they were sending around the document. It was a similar kind of like pitch sheet for casting with the references for Uncut Gems. And for the Howie Ratner role, they said, like Watto. It was a picture of Watto, and they didn't even let me fucking read.
What?
They went straight to Sandler. And I said, you're looking for a Watto type? And I watched that movie, and the movie's good, but he's stealing my moves. Yeah. He's really cribbing for me in that performance.
I feel like I could kill Julia Fox's part, but, you know.
I tried to read for that.
Yogurt.
Guys, we went 5 minutes, didn't get a donation, so this is going back in the fridge.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
That's on you. That's on the viewers.
That's on the viewers.
It's on the givers. It's on the givers.
I don't know. Keep it out. Maybe they'll come back.
Now, now I'm looking. Now this teddy bear that's on set, I can't tell if is that practical or is that digital? Is that a digital effect? Is that a real teddy bear that was on set?
Wait, teddy bear is in. Hold on, I have the episode queued up next to you guys. Is there a certain timestamp?
We are at 1820. Yeah.
A family group hug with a teddy bear included.
Sorry,
we cut to Willie Geist on Morning Joe.
Yes.
Huh. I'm looking. Don't see any teddy bear.
It looks like it's Martha McIsaac's teddy bear. I forget her character name.
Her name is Becca. I do.
Becca, thank you.
Wait, sorry. What was the timestamp on that again?
1854, 55, 56.
Okay, let me see. Wait, have you guys already watched the episode?
We're watching it now.
Oh, we're watching it now. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Oh, I do see that. We're on 1906 now. Okay. Yeah. I was so involved in this conversation. I hadn't even.
That's okay.
I mean, if I decide I'm not going to wear socks.
Here, just mute it and then put on subtitles. That's the best way to do it.
All right.
Right. Although that did sound great. Now these are the headlines back in 2012. This was news. No mention of a pandemic. This is a different era. It's essentially a period piece.
Yes. No, because people might be confused. They're watching a show
behind that podium.
Yeah.
I'm reminiscing.
A steady hand, you know.
Oh, this teddy bear. Oh man, I remember shooting this scene actually. Oh, I was so tired that day.
Hey, give us a scoop. Give us a scoop.
Give us the scoop.
I totally flopped. I'm sorry. I remember the director, Jay. I was exhausted that day. I think we'd shot I'd shot most of my scenes that day. And sorry, I'm going to put this on another page so I can see it. But it was kind of a very emotional, like he's giving this speech and we're all sitting there and supposed to be super proud of him. And I remember I was like leaning back on the couch and I was kind of falling asleep in the middle of shooting a scene. Not very professional, I know. Surely
I was producing when I produced the movie Labyrinth. I flew to set and fell asleep the second I got to set. People took photos of me.
What David Bowie?
And I was the I was the executive producer of that film. And you know, it's just something that happens when I think it's a sign. I think it's actually very professional.
It means you're working very hard.
There you go. I don't know if I would have been asleep if David Bowie had been around, but
no.
I remember they had to kind of wake me up. So I think I'm cut out of a majority of that scene probably for that.
Wow. Literally sleeping on the job. Look, I want to ask you a question that you probably never had to answer before.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
You were in the movie The Descendants.
Yes.
I've heard that George Clooney is a bit of a prankster. Any pranks on set?
Any pranks?
He sure does. All right. Well,
I don't mean to stun you. I mean, I know you haven't even had to think about that answer before.
Oh, you know what? I'm really sorry to burst your bubble. I think that was probably the third or fourth most asked question.
What?
I ever had. If you go into any of my interviews, it was probably that one. So I actually, let's see if I can remember my my press training for that one, because that was a question that was asked frequently. I do remember. See, I wasn't there for it, but I do remember, and it's vague because I'd only heard the story back to me. I wasn't actually there, but George at one point had I think we were first of all, he oh my god, this was my favorite one actually. I was sorry to go off on a tangent, but
go babe.
No, I just remembered this one, and this was probably the best. So we were shooting a scene where Shailene Nick, who played my sister and her boyfriend, and then George, we were all on a flight together traveling from Oahu to Kauai. And the scene, so they had a bunch of extras in the plane, and all, something like 50 extras. They filled up the plane. So George, we were sitting there, and they were setting, and they were doing lighting, and something was taking really long. And so George, I remember we're sitting next to each other. I was supposed to pretend to be like sleeping on his shoulder. And I remember he nudged me and went, shh. And I was like, what? And he pointed at his phone. He had like the iPhone that had probably just come out at that point. It was like 2010.
The first one. Yeah.
He had downloaded a fart noise app. And I was looking at him. I was like, what is that? And then he had a headphone in, and then he put the headphone in for me, and he played one. And it was bad. It was really realistic. It was really, really loud. And I start cracking up, and he's sitting there. He's like, don't laugh. And so he takes the headphones out, and then I think he like put his phone kind of somewhere where it wasn't near him.
Yeah.
And he just let one rip, and everyone on the you could see the discomfort with everyone because no one wanted to look and be like single anybody out. But it was just such close quarters. You could see people kind of doing this, like bracing themselves for the smell. And then so that went off. No one really said anything. And then he let another one off, like maybe 4 minutes later. And no one said anything again, but people were starting to kind of look around at this point. And then I remember after the third time, Alexander, the director, just stood up and was like, does someone need to be excused? And then George started laughing. That was a funny part. He never really kept it going. He would make himself laugh before everyone was really affected by it. Another time I do remember that he pretended to hurt his back really bad. And he had fallen, or he pretended to fall. This was the one I wasn't there for.
On its face, let's say, the opposite of funny. If someone gets injured on set, usually people are not laughing.
He was really trying to scare people, which was so just hard. Like everyone starts freaking out. They're calling the medic, and then he just starts cracking up while he's on the ground, of course.
Classic clunes. Should we start the next episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have a few minutes. Hang on one second. Should we give Amara a 1600 pen name?
Yes. This is a fun thing. This is a fun thing that we like to do.
Okay.
I'll give the history of it. When we were doing our birth, we did a marathon for your birthday on May 4th, and for our Amara birthday marathon, we were giving people Star Wars names, which would be we turn your name into something that sounded like a Star Wars character.
It sounded like it's Roy, or an alien.
I'm excited to see what you come up with.
You know these things very well.
Yeah.
Then when we started doing our Arliss watchathons, the Arliss title, famously, whenever it's in any promotional items, they always spell his name, the last two letters of his name with $signs for S's. So we thought, let's give people Arliss names.
But you know this very well. Arliss is your favorite TV show. You've seen every episode.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like every Star Wars.
So we decided, when we decided we were going to do 1600 pen, we thought, well, we have to give people 1600 pen names. Now, a fan of the show has created a machine, a website for Arliss names where you could do it automatically, and they have done the same thing.
This is a real website.
Yo, this is amazing. It's like the Wu-Tang generator.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you go to
open to the public. It's a public resource.
Okay.
State-of-the-art
technology. TV shows.
If you go to 1600pen.me, 1600 pen.
Edge technology.
So we'll put in Amara's name. I'm going to hit next.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So,
All right.
Amara, how political are you on a scale of 1 to 4?
4.
Wow.
A 4.
I
You're for
actually
very political.
at all of
Okay.
the protests. So in that way,
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
All
so
right.
here comes your 1600 pen name.
They have to figure it out.
okay.
I can't believe
Someone.
That's your name. It's
There you go.
1600 Amara.
All right. Does this do this with everyone's name? It's just
We
16.
don't
Well, you're the
you're-
first one
we don't
we've
know.
done.
It's
You're
only
the
for
first one we've done.
Well, let's do it for everybody.
Well, okay. We can do it for someone else. Who else do we do it for?
Just maybe one other person. I'm curious to see if it just comes up with 1600.
Sure,
Well,
we'll do it for one more person.
Let's do it for Watto. Let's
All
do it for Watto.
For Watto. That'd be great.
Watto.
Okay, perfect.
Now, Watto, how political are you?
0%. I'm the definition of politically incorrect.
Okay, here we go. You
All right,
ready?
Here we go. Let's see.
The name is almost 1600 Watto.
That's
Great.
the calculator.
Wow.
Great.
All right. Well,
Interesting. Okay.
Well, this is such a small sample size. We have no way of knowing if it
We have
always
no way
does
of knowing.
that.
We
Yeah,
cannot
that's
extrapolate from
true.
this.
Scientifically,
There was
2 is an alarmingly small sample size.
Yes, huge.
all right.
All right, let's start this
They
episode.
put a lot of attention to detail into the little gears that were.
The animation.
This is that, of course.
His name is Mike Stubna made that, and he's the best.
Amazing.
All right, here we go. So we will start episode 3 in 1,
And this is
2,
2,
3.
3. Bang. Play.
so you don't want to dance. So the first 2 titles, episode 1, the pilot was Putting Out Fires.
Okay.
The second one was called The Skiplantic Ocean.
That's right.
And now we are So
I was
You
very
Don't Want to Dance.
I was very focused on talking to you guys the whole time, so I was not very much watching along to the episode, but
Okay.
I totally don't know what any of these are about. I'll be reminded as I see things.
Sure.
Can't tell off the title.
Well, we have the great Stacy Keach
Stacey Keach.
right here. I think he's playing
What
an
a
old,
peach.
a senator, a racist senator, I believe.
No.
When I was looking stuff up.
Stacy Keach also appeared on our list, and I called him the late great Stacy Keach, and then we realized he's still alive, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Right.
that is true.
Yeah.
Well, you were half right.
I was half
Still
right.
great.
He is great. He's the current great Stacy
Yeah.
Keach.
Yeah.
We have, another Stacy, a girl that Skip seems to have a crush on.
Wow. So this is a crazy episode because you have
Girl.
a fictional Stacy and a real Stacy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're
Very
I hope they do.
Yeah, we'll see.
blurring the lines. Now, this is a character actor I recognize.
Yeah.
Now she recently passed away. I know
She
this
did.
for a fact.
Oh, it's
Well,
oh, unfortunate. I didn't know that.
Wonderful actor.
Me and Skip kind of have the same hair.
now I have a question about your White House set, because frequently what will happen.
George, I was literally just about to ask that. That was literally what I was asking, and I said, I'll let George ask a question.
No, once again, I'm ahead of my time. Even if it's just by a moment, I'm ahead of everyone else. A lot of times when you see a show that's set in the White House, they'll build a new White House set, and sometimes you'll find out this is the same set that was used on previous White House TV shows. What's the history of this White House set? Is it brand new, or was it used before?
Yeah, this one actually, interestingly enough, it was brand new. And the
Brand
director
new.
and the producers actually went to the White House and went, I think, in the West Wing in the Oval Office and did like a personal inspection with the art department to take measurements and everything. It was that was when Obama was in office.
That's amazing. They did a tour of the West Wing set. To make
I know that's exactly what I heard. And apparently they had plans. I believe, I mean, there was just talks of like the cast eventually going out there at one point, but unfortunately it didn't work out like that. That would have been really cool. But yeah, they did build everything original for 1600 Penn. Wow. And even for the pilot episode too, they had built the Oval Office. So everything is scaled to size and all the details are you know,
I'm reading. I just pulled up an article from Hollywood Reporter, and Jason Weiner says in the pilot, some of the walls in the Oval Office were from the West Wing, but everything else was new.
Oh,
Like they used the wall from it, and literally, and the walls in every other episode, I guess, were from National Treasure.
no way! What?
Wow.
Wait,
But
that's
everything else was new. That's what he's saying.
Oh my god, what an iconic movie. Well, that's awesome. I didn't even have any of those details. This is all me recalling stuff from when I was 12, but that is so cool.
But everything else, it seems.
But
is
everything
new.
else was, they really, the art department went crazy on this entire, art department, props, like everything looked very realistic. And walking in there was
How many gourds? How many gourds are those gourds in that fridge? Are there 2 gourds? How many gourds are in that fridge? There's 2 ketchups. Are those gourds?
Hold on. Isn't it a gourd's like a pumpkin, right?
Isn't that 2 gourds?
But I see juice.
No.
I'm seeing the gourds, George.
George, I don't know what you're talking about.
What am I seeing? Well, there's a syrup. There were 2 big, large-sized syrups. But what were those things? Are those gourds?
Oh my God! Look, George.
I don't think they're gonna. Are they gonna open that fridge again?
Should we rewind at the same time?
No spoilers.
How
If George wants to rewind, he can rewind and then catch up.
I think we have to.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying I'm asking the question. I can't answer.
Let's hope they open the fridge again. We get another
Open
look.
the fridge.
Totally honest.
Hashtag nuke the fridge.
Hashtag Gordgate. George is looking for answers.
People in the chat are also saying hashtag Gord Lucas.
Gord Lucas.
Well, I will say the set design work is gorgeous, but this is ridiculous.
Okay, I need this. I need to see the gourds, I think.
Okay.
Well, it's
the fridge.
There's a rule. There's a rule in drama. Chekhov's gourds.
So
if you see 2 gourds in the fridge in the first act, those gourds got to come back into it. They can't just have 2 random gourds sitting in a fridge.
Yeah.
Show it off to us in the first scene and not bring it back.
I'm rewinding. I'm gonna have to catch up with you guys. I need to see if
I got it.
Maybe they're not gourd. I could be wrong. I thought they were gourds, but they're pumpkin shaped.
Gourd is in like the pumpkin-esque plant.
Yeah, but they're not long gourds. They're round. Unless they're on their side.
Hold on. Yes, you're absolutely right. Those are squashes, actually, my friend.
Squashes. Squashes.
Yeah, those are
George squashes.
Autumn squashes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what? I don't know. They're fan. Like they got. It looks like, how I'm gonna analyze this. They have a big ass gallon of orange juice. There's like 2 things of Arizona iced tea and some squashes.
Wow.
What do you need?
Amara, I got to just say thank you so much for squashing this issue.
All right.
We're up to 1716, guys.
Oh my God. I actually, what's so cool, I was on the little thing with the private chat. I'm just now seeing the live comments.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome.
There's a lot of people there.
Squash. People are going crazy with the puns now. Okay, I need to catch up again. You guys are at 5, 6.
We should ask, hey guys, in the chat, if anyone has ideas for stretch goals, send them in and we will add them.
I mean, people are saying we need to establish a stretch goal for 1776.
Oh my God, they said Amara nails. I know, I hope they wouldn't notice. Like, I have one hand on and one hand off right now. Sorry, guys.
Girl, you're killing it. Quarantine but make it fashion.
Oh my gosh, it's a very hard time with all of the salons being closed right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But you're doing the right thing by not going.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I just have to suffer through this.
Yeah.
No, look, you're a 4 on the political
I'm a
scale.
hero. I know. I'm a total hero.
Okay, wait, let's look at those stretch goals. Let's get something for 1776. I will say people are demanding that we watch National Treasure as a stretch goal.
Jesus,
there have been several things we've discussed watching later. But if the demand is for National Treasure, we should consider that.
Can I say this? I watched National Treasure, I think, last Wednesday.
Oh, so you're ready.
So you can reanalyze. You know,
it'd be easy for you to watch it.
Honestly.
So what's the number? How much will you say, Watto?
For National Treasure?
Yeah, or Amara can hop in too. Amara, you don't have to watch National Treasure, so you can.
Oh, I'll watch National for charity, of course. I'll watch National Treasure with you guys.
Right. That means you have to come back later.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. But
okay.
Do you think if 1600 Penn had run for longer, that eventually it would have crossed over with the National Treasure universe? Because from what I know, you cannot keep Benjamin Franklin Gates away from that Resolute desk for long. Even if
I feel like Skip and Nick Cage would have had a really back and forth.
They've got our walls. We've got to get those walls back.
He would have stolen the walls.
Well,
because you would have found out there was something written on the back of the walls.
So here's how they know that the walls are from National Treasure is because it is written on the back of the walls, National Treasure.
I hope Nick came and signed them. I feel like that's something that he would do.
But here's my question, Watto. I think Watto might know the answer to this. I think those walls might be from National Treasure 2.
National Treasure 2 is the one where he goes to the Resolute desk and he gets the clue out of it.
And now that I'm thinking of it, did they even go to the White House? I don't think they went to the White House in the first one. You're absolutely right. They went to the museums.
Yes. So I think it's from Book of Secrets. So,
Okay.
So let's. How much for us to watch Book of Secrets?
This is my. Can I make my suggestion?
Yeah.
Book of Secrets was released in the year 2007.
No, it's got to be higher.
Okay, then
Gotta
ready?
be higher. 7,002.
And how about this?
Because National Treasure is all about secret codes, like the numbers are backwards, right?
I have an idea. Here, in the name of unity, okay? Global unity, because it's not the 4th of July anymore. It's the 5th of July. We have to think about bringing all countries together.
Yeah.
The total worldwide box office for National Treasure Book of Secrets was $459.2 million. I think if we get to 4,592.
Sure, deal. I'll do that.
I like that. All right, I like that plan.
4592.
And also, as somebody says, also it was released in 2004 or 5 too. So that's a lot. That's a lot for a box office in 2005. Holy
big hit. It's insane they never made the third one.
Yeah.
I think they should do it now. I think I would love to be cast in that movie.
Okay, I mean, Watto as well. You want to hear the tea?
Yes, absolutely.
Apparently, there are 2 different scripts internally at Disney now. And one of them is Nick Cage, original cast, proper National Treasure 3. And the other one is in name only, total reboot, young cast.
No.
There's stuff between the 2.
No.
The jury has decided needs to be Nick Cage. That movie does not work without Nick. None of Nick Cage's movies work without Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Well,
we need Bartha. We need Bartha. We need Diana.
I'll be honest. I even have trouble going back to the original Fantasia and seeing the way the Sorcerer's Apprentice was in animated form, because to me it's there is no Sorcerer's Apprentice without Nicolas Cage. I have a personal cut of Fantasia where in the place of the Sorcerer's Apprentice segment, you instead watch the entire feature film of the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
What? You know what's crazy? I remember seeing that movie, and I'm kind of from like, you know, when I was a lot of Nick Cage's really successful movies were coming out when I was young. Yeah. So when I, was like 8 watching those movies, I was like, well, this is badass. Like it was not kind of with that level of irony. So I grew up with a bit of like The Sorcerer's Apprentice, hands down, was one of my favorite movies. My mom had a little TV in our car and we'd pop the DVD in. That was my favorite thing ever. And now I can look back and I can watch on it and be like, wow, this is even more genius than I ever thought, because it's so it.
Do you want to hear the irony?
Yes.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, same producer, same director, and obviously Nick Cage, same star as National Treasure. The failure of that movie at the box office is what halted plans for National Treasure 3.
No.
Disney was like, give us National Treasure 3 right now. And they were like, let us make one movie, then we'll get back to National Treasure. And after Sorcerer's Apprentice, they put the brakes on it. Now, I like that you're trying to redeem Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is what I think we need to do, okay?
Right.
Right now, it is 4:25. I think we need to tell our viewers that at the 25th minute of every hour, as long as we are live streaming, you should tweet at Disney, hashtag National Treasure must rattle the cage.
All right. Is everybody ready? Is everybody down for that?
How about this? Let's make it shorter.
Hop back on.
Hashtag.
Let's make it shorter. It's just National Treasure must be caged.
Okay. All right. I like that one. Hold on.
Okay.
And Cage should be all caps.
Yes.
Okay.
So the idea, not uncaged. Uncaged is letting them think you want this reboot with a young, hip cast. No.
But maybe Uncaged is like letting Nick out of his, I don't know, where has he been?
He's been working. I just don't want them to misinterpret it. This franchise must be caged.
Yeah. Let them know. Everybody let them know.
They cannot reboot with an all-new cast. We can have some fresh blood in there.
Yeah.
Amara and I would love to join the ensemble.
I want to get in contact with them.
But Cage must be in there.
Ends up happening.
The way I would approach it is that I think what we
today.
I think what we need is for Nicolas Cage to do his Fantasia 2000 segment first. Like, let's put Nicolas Cage into the Donald Duck Noah's Ark sequence.
Okay.
Make that.
George, the last time Nicolas Cage adapted a segment from Fantasia, it got National Treasure 3 canceled.
It must be a dyad. It must be a dyad.
After though.
Yeah. After.
Let him negotiate that.
I want Nicolas Cage. The problem is he needs to do all of the segments from both Fantasias as full-length feature movies. I want to see Dance of the Hours. I want to see Night on Bald Mountain.
The one with the Pegasus ponies. I haven't seen Fantasia. I remember that segment. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Question though. How do you envision this? Will Nick Cage, will it be like a Jessica Rabbit kind of, there's the animation and then Nick Cage is live action, or are we animating Nick Cage?
No.
Or is it all live action?
Or is it all
live action?
That's the thing. Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I actually don't know what would be worse or better.
Sorcerer's Apprentice is based on a segment from Fantasia, which Jay Baruchel is playing the role originated by Mickey Mouse.
That's right.
And Nicolas Cage is playing the role originated by Stern Animated Wizard.
Wasn't he like evil in that one though? I remember Mickey Mouse got a lot of shit going on. The mob stuff.
Yes, right. He makes a mess. He's a little bit of a Skip Gilchrist. He's well-intentioned, but he's clumsy, and he causes a lot of problems.
Oh, that's so classic.
So that's what we want. We want similar kind of loose live-action adaptations.
Okay.
Starring Nicolas Cage as a face character.
I like that, but it's rewritten to the modern day. All right. All right. Who in the chat supports this?
I imagine people will.
But it has to come after NP3.
Hashtag Fancasia.
Fancasia.
Yeah.
But the order of this has to be correct. He needs to make another National Treasure first, so he has the cachet to then do another Fantasia.
That's true. I think he has enough leverage at this point. I don't know. He could.
So that's the tweet we want. We want hashtag National Treasure must be caged, all caps, and then write the word then, and then hashtag Fancasia.
Maybe even type out and only after that.
And the Disney representative for their Twitter is going to be getting all these tweets being like, "What is going on?"
They need to earn their money. They're well paid.
And they're used to it at this point.
So Skip's got a real crush on this girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Man, I was so focused on Nick Cage, I hadn't even. I do remember.
Stacy Kim.
He looks great. I love that.
Yeah. He just basically told everyone he had a crush on her, and then she ran away because she was embarrassed.
Oh goodness, girl.
Yeah.
Come on, Skip.
Come on, Skip. Get it together.
Skip never got a break, man.
Now, okay, so Amara, where do you think your character would be in 2020?
Great question.
Ooh, great question. Indeed. I think that was one of the kind of hardest parts about, letting that show go. It wasn't just like the experience and, obviously how much I loved working with everyone on that set. I mean, genuinely, like, these people just so cared about everything they were doing. There was so much passion and so much love that was going into this project, but definitely just seeing kind of the halt of like, I had really grown attached to this character and was really interested in seeing where she developed. And I honestly, the writers were just so open on that show as well. Like they would have conversations with us, and they would, even as a young person, they would kind of just be getting to know me and asking what I perceived from Marigold and kind of where I wanted to see her develop. I would hope that, I'm not sure. My gosh, it was such a short run of it, and but throughout the season, there was there was 13 episodes, and you saw her come from this, kid that was just kind of angry and very spunky and kind of rebellious and, like a classic teenager, like kind of didn't associate with her siblings and didn't really care about anything her dad was, involved in politically. And from then you kind of got to know her a little bit, and her sexuality was a big part of it. I mean, having that kind of beeline story for her, especially as such a young kid, I thought that was a great thing, because especially at the time, there were definitely not a lot of gay characters on TV that were that young. I don't remember really seeing. There was like Plea had come a little bit after that, but all those kids were in high school, and they took it very sensitively, kind of developing, you know, her sexuality and normalizing that on TV, which for me I thought was great. I really was looking forward to see kind of where that would go, and the relationship with Skip that she had, which I think there was a nice foundation poured into that. That was just, you know, so I think, yeah, the development of that would have been really nice to see.
But where is the character today? Is she running for office? What's she doing?
Shit, man. That's
what I want to know. This is the real stuff.
Activist. It would be something going on with that. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, we all saw the first episode, how that was the first, when Skip was rallying everybody outside.
Yeah.
That's right. Getting riled up. I feel like Marigold would be, you know.
I mean, you know, it's like if Malia Obama is anything to go off of, we probably would get 8 separate episodes on your character smoking 1 cigarette, right?
You know, that
a season-long arc.
I feel like she might have gone through maybe at like 15, 16, that kind of rebellious streak like that, just because she was always kind of, that was the foundation of her character. But later on, I feel like that rebellion would have developed into something that was, you know, important for the political environment, you know, today.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful dance sequence that's happening on the show.
I know. I'm seeing this right behind your guys' faces.
Stacey Keach is not into it. He does not like this dancing.
They really must have coordinated this. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sad I was not there for this scene or any of these. I remember filming scenes with everybody, like the entire cast together, was always the most fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When everyone was there together.
What was your all-time favorite thing to film? And it's okay if it's a spoiler.
Great question.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, definitely.
Do you have something that just stands out?
Definitely the last. So it will be in the last episode. And I just remembered this because I remembered it so strongly because I remembered just Josh Gad, who plays Skip. He had the room in stitches. Like he would improv a lot, which is kind of, in my experience, like being on the movie versus being on the network. It was, you know, all the dialogue had to be very much so approved, right? So obviously anything that was aired, like we were, it was really like a stick to the script kind of thing. You can kind of deviate on really small things, but don't, you know, improvisation was kind of something that I experienced more with something like The Descendants. But Josh was just had this, I mean, he was one of the executive producers and kind of was very involved in the writing process. And so he's also just a fantastic comedian and a fantastic performer. So
you can't turn that tap off.
Yeah, exactly.
The gad is going to flow.
Exactly. And he would do it in such a graceful way that it was like every time he would go off the script, everyone in the room laughing harder than the actual delivery of the lines. Yeah. And it was just the way he is. So I remember we were shooting, it was one of the last scenes we shot in one of the last episodes. And honestly, I would have to rewatch it. I can't remember what it is, but it's a part where Skip comes like storming into the room. And we're all sitting and watching. I think it was Jenna Elfman kind of like giving some kind of speech, and Skip comes storming into the room and has an announcement to make, something along those lines. And every time he would come in, he would start screaming something different that was like an improv. And I was sitting there in my chair, and I remember Jason just being like, I was next to Ben, I believe. And I remember Jason just being like, Mark, you can't laugh. Like you have to sit here to pretend this is totally serious. I could not help myself from just bursting out and laughing. Like they had to get his scenes and then film all of us individually afterwards because he was just making everyone crack up so much.
George Clooney, he needs to bring a fart machine to do that kind of thing. But Josh Gad, he is the fart machine. He can make it happen himself.
He's a one-man fart machine.
He's a one-man fart show. Yeah. No, he wins with his charm for sure. But Josh had just this performance aspect that's a lot of theater and a lot of just very loud, you know, out there personality that was just so, but he's extremely smart. That was one thing that I remembered about him. Very talented and very, very smart.
That's great.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm going to bring this up just so people know where we're at for memberships. If you guys donate to Museum Moving Image, right now we have, we have 2 classics left.
Wow.
2 individuals left.
Wow.
2 duels. 1 aficionado, and 2 aficionado duels. Now, if you donate and you're like, oh, they're all gone, whatever, I'll talk to the museum and see if we can get them out.
But let's also reestablish for people who have tuned in late, who were not here at the beginning. Museum Moving Image, great place in Astoria, Queens. But in these, challenging times, they're going to be providing more and more digital programming. So if you do not live in the New York area, you still have a lot of benefits to gain from getting a membership. They will be programming a lot of fun events online coming soon.
And they told me about a lot of the stuff they're working on, and it sounds rad. And even if I didn't live around here, it would be rad.
But no spoilers.
Are these secret? These are secrets?
These are secret, but they weren't very specific. It was just like, these are the kind of things we're going to be working on. So if you donate, and then if you hit one of these goals or above, just email me the level you want it to, and I'll make sure you put you on there.
Now, Amara, I must say something very quickly.
Yes.
It is currently 4:38.
One break for me, but yeah.
Soon to be. Well, even with the time zone difference, it is very soon to be the 39th minute of the hour, right?
Okay.
And there's something we like to do on the 39th minute of every hour here.
And what's that?
Tragically, 1600 Penn was taken from us too early. You only got to make 13 episodes.
I know. So too unfortunate.
But they were all released. They were all released.
They were. That's true. That's the one thing, because I do remember another NBC show that year got axed like halfway through the season, and that was that. I can't imagine that heartbreak would have been a little bit more.
Okay. Amara, I'm going to describe for you a heartbreak you will not even be able to process. If you cannot even imagine the heartbreak of losing half a season, what if I told you?
Yeah, and before you say anything further, Watto, this has to do with your birthday.
It has to do with your birthday.
Oh no.
What if I told you that George Lucas himself self-financed and self-produced 3 entire seasons of a TV show, animated, called Star Wars Detours. It's like Star Wars, but very funny. And this is around the time of 1600 Penn. He just says, I'm going to make this show with no creative interference from execs, and then I'll sell it to someone as a finished product. 3 completed seasons. Disney buys Lucasfilm. One would assume that they will just release this series. It's a free series.
It's a free Star Wars series. The only difference between this and regular Star Wars is it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's so funny.
What was the angle for the show? Was it like a...
I'll tell you what the angle is. Funny.
Fun. Like in the same way that
there was a kids show on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel or something around the time.
I think it's a little Nickelodeon. It's a kids show. It's family, but it's for everyone, for ages 8 to 88.
Yeah, it's like every Star Wars movie is for kids, even the ones where you see a best friend chop off all the arms and legs of his best friend.
And you know this because you love these movies.
Yeah. Birthday. Happy birthday.
That's exciting. Thank you so much for that. Have we told George yet? Should we tell him? I think I just saw another comment in the chat. No,
I never tell him.
No, he had that much.
But I think you've gotten ahead of this story. I think you know where this is going, but I need to make it perfectly clear.
Okay.
Disney, famous for releasing animation.
Yeah, it's the main thing they do.
The number one thing they do. They took 39 episodes completed of Star Wars Detours.
Was this like 20-minute episodes? Or are we talking Mad Men?
20.
20.
22.
All right.
Look what I'm doing. They put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
It's been there since the early 2010s. It's been almost a decade. The episodes have never been seen. So this is very different from tweeting at Disney, National Treasure must be caged, and then Fantasia. This is a very different campaign.
This is a very different campaign. But it's the same person. The same person will get this campaign.
39 minutes every hour.
Imagine now. These episodes are in the Disney Vault, and you know there's that comedic trope where someone in a comedy, someone will be arrested and thrown in prison, and then they're in a holding cell, and then they pan over and you see this really like terrifying like cellmate, and then and you think, oh my goodness. the Disney Vault, imagine all 39 episodes of the very funny, made-for-kids Star Wars Detours, and then we pan over and we see Song of the South. And that's the other thing that's in the
It's
Disney
sitting
Vault.
there like this. It's like, ugh.
Oh
Yeah.
no! All right, I don't like that. I mean,
It shouldn't be in that
I
vault.
would believe they're on different shelves.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We don't like it either. That's why we want it released. So everyone tweet at Disney Plus. Hashtag May Your Tours be with you. Tweet at Disney, Big Disney.
Everyone tweet that.
Let
And
know
while everyone's tweeting that, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick, and I'm gonna be right back because I had too much water. Hold on.
Too much Watto.
Too much water. Can we look at these goals? Is there time to?
Yeah, we should do that. We have 3 minutes till we'll start the next episode.
Yes.
Right. I have a fun thing that I think we want to put at a relatively high number. Let's see where we have some openings.
We should also keep doing small numbers too, George.
Yes,
But
and
yeah.
George,
I know.
this is another thing to remember. Another thing to remember is you still need to deflate the BB-8. Do you not?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, already? Oh, I'll do that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Great. But let's do another one, George.
Look, 1776, we will sing a song from Little Shop of Horrors. It is the only appropriate thing to do.
Okay. Sure.
Do we have a pick?
I would say that, George, you and I will do a duet of Suddenly Seymour.
Right. Who should be whom?
I will let you take first pick.
I'll be Audrey 1.
People are asking us to do a song from the musical Hamilton or 1776. I don't understand why you would want that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people would rather. I guess we could do a Hamilton song. We could do a song from 1776, but we're putting Suddenly Seymour on the table.
Yeah, because you'll suddenly see more of us singing that song.
Exactly.
It makes more sense.
We'll make a Hamilton song a much further goal. Song from
Yeah.
Assassins. Yes, these are all late.
A lot about Hamilton in the chat. Yeah.
Yes.
So before we kick off this next episode, I do want to bring in another guest to join us. He was a supervising producer on this show. He wrote 2 episodes. He worked on Big Mouth. He worked on BoJack. Peter Knight's here.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, so nice to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm sweaty because I'm wearing my 1600.
I love it.
Oh, that was the
We're all
one.
wearing our merch. We're all wearing our
Oh,
merch.
look at that. I love to see it. Mr. Lucas, I'm a huge fan. I remember when the episode 4 played at the local movie theater. Watto, slightly less of a fan of the prequels, but big respect to the whole universe.
Oh, thank you. Do you remember when episode 1 played? Did you have any strong, fond memories of that?
I mean, a good world-setting junkyard scene.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
But it's clouded. It's a memory that's clouded. I'd actually like to use the remaining time, if I have any, to say hi to Amara. I haven't seen Amara since the set.
Whoa.
No, it's been too long. They asked me if I had kept in touch with anyone, and I just said, like, oh man, we were just all such a family there, and I've just missed everyone so much. So it's fantastic to see.
Look
you.
at this. The two of you reunited apart.
I know, all because of the Star Wars universe. So thank you for that reconciliation.
Amazing.
And you have your merch on. I was just talking about how mine is in my mom's closet, actually. She's stolen both of my sweaters and wears them very frequently. So I couldn't find mine for today, but I was telling them about the exact one you're wearing right now.
Patrick, hello. Good to see you.
How are you?
I have something else. I don't know if you got room for a show and tell here. But
Whoa! That's practical? That was real?
Yeah. I'm not good at the dig.
That is very cool.
And the only reason I have that is a buddy of mine, Stuart Blatt, was a art director on a drama at Fox, and I worked on another show later. And he was like, "Hey, is this from 1600 Penn?" We were having lunch one day on the lot, and he was like, "Do you want it?" I said, "Hell, that feels like I can use that for something."
That
Shenanigans at the very least.
Very, very cool.
That's like the plot of an Indiana Jones movie.
Peter, we've been talking about the National Treasure franchise.
Hang on, Watto, let's start this episode and then we'll get going because I don't want to get too far behind. So we're
All right.
watching episode 4, Meet the Parent.
Speaking of episode 4s,
You give me the we're starting at you're telling me?
This
Yeah,
is where
already started.
season. Oh my god.
Okay, here we go. So we will start in
Good episode.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Now, what I was going to ask, Peter, because we've been talking about National Treasure, can you just quickly for the audience show us the back of that sign so we know whether there's any sort of map or clue written on it? Okay, coast is clear.
No, coast is clear. We're good.
We don't want to be sitting on a potential mystery, you
I
know?
think it might have been.
We have to all do shots if there's a press briefing in this scene.
Oh boy.
And we see that sign. Shots of what I don't know.
Now, Peter, did you write this episode? I think you did.
No,
right?
I did not. I did not. Unless I'm forgetting. No, this is Dan Hernandez and Benji Samet.
Good friends. Good friends.
And, well, I met them on this show, and that's just the great treasure that I take away from the working experience. And I remember this. I love this show, and I remember this being the funniest episode where, like, the A story, the B story, and the C story all fire, and it delivers everything that she kind of, what John Lovett used to call a classic 1600 Penn.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this. On IMDb, you are credited as written by and not as staff writer.
Wow.
So someone's got to fix
No
that.
way. No, I didn't write this one, but
Okay, someone,
I wish I did.
someone in the chat, go update the IMDb.
I believe it's the jewel in the crown.
Yeah.
You got the credit anyway. It's okay.
Yeah. So how
Robbie
did you,
Amell, Martha McIsaac, love them.
how did you
We
get
got
involved with-
Renee Auberjonois on screen.
Hold on one
It's great.
second, Patrick. I think I
Yeah.
should probably turn down the volume on the.
Yeah, if you turn on your subtitles, it's the best
Yeah.
way to watch.
Yes.
the audience
yeah.
is listening.
Yes.
Well done, and thank God for that.
Now, let me ask: in the pilot, when the chair flies out the window, that's a digital effect, right? The fire, or was that real fire on set?
That I believe, and I don't remember, but I remember that effect not looking great.
I think it looked great. Okay, so digital.
I think it had to have been digital, right? I mean,
Not
I
real
don't
fire. You would've
remember that. I
remembered real
can't conjure the particular image. Let's
you
say
would,
that.
You would remember if someone said, "Now we're going to throw a flaming chair out of a second-story window,"
Yes.
right? Whereas you might not remember, like, oh, like Nathan just rendered it.
I was not on set for the pilot. That's another.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another factoid.
Gotcha.
But Mr. Lucas, I would defer. I have been enjoying not just your films, such as the Battleship Airmen movie that I don't remember the name of.
Red Tails.
Red
Yeah,
Tails on Disney
but
Plus.
the
on Disney
but
Plus.
the technology that has allowed
Yes.
us to not just like your movies, but everyone else's.
Yes.
That's right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh no, I paused the episode. That's all right.
That's okay. This is where we're at. So if you want to catch
Yes. 3 minutes, 11 seconds.
up.
Great. I'm right on it.
Now, Peter, how did you get involved with the show?
This was the most ordinary way that you get a job, which is your manager says, I think you should meet John Lovett and Jason Weiner, and you do, and you hit it off, and you got a piece of material that they like, and they go, great, we want you to come on to the staff.
Yeah.
This scene I remember being
Yeah.
the way that Josh says Stacy is one of my favorite. An ensemble, a good ensemble such as 1600 Penn, it's an orchestra.
Yeah.
And you know how Jenna sounds, and Jenna's great at a bunch of stuff, and she's as sure-handed as an all-star third baseman. She will turn the joke when she needs to turn the joke, but it's probably going to be Josh.
Yeah.
It's a sports orchestra.
Robbie too. Robbie was so good. I remember this was the first episode that he was in.
Oh, Robbie was.
When you meet him, he's
Yeah.
just so on it. This is awesome.
I did write that one where you meet Robbie. I wrote. I think it's called Meet the Parent.
That's this one.
That's this one.
That's this episode.
One, yeah.
Oh, I thought this was Game Theory.
Oh, no. This is Meet the Parent. This is number 4.
Have we met Robbie yet? No. This is.
We're meeting him right now.
We are meeting Robbie. We are watching episode 4 right now.
Okay. You know what? You're watching episode 4. I'm watching episode 9.
Oh no!
That's
My
great.
God,
Well,
Rise of Skywalker.
listen. Fortunately, I have every frame memorized of the Robbie O'Malley intro.
Hold on. We need to call off everyone who went to IMDb to take your credit away for this episode. Come back. Come back.
This is a travesty. Well, I can just tell you some things that I remember. We shot it, or is it? Should I rectify this and just go to your time code? Because I probably
go to the time code.
Okay. Amara, will you tell funny stuff about working with your castmates? Because
Amara, I have a question. Amara.
Yes.
Now I want to know, because you were working with Josh in 2012 and up through, I don't know when when you would have wrapped on episode 13.
I think it was December
2013.
So it was like April 2012 we shot the pilot, December, and then we filmed September through December the entire season.
All right. So Frozen doesn't come out until the following holiday season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Did you? So you were in a pre-Olaf reality when you made this film.
I did, and I remember.
Did you have any inkling? Did he let on that he was going to be the world's favorite snowman?
Any sense that you might someday want to build a snowman? You had no idea.
I had no
Amara,
idea.
did you want to build a snowman?
Did you?
I did. I know. I saw Frozen. I loved it. I wanted to build the snowman after that movie for sure. But I did not. He did not get on to any of it. I mean, I'm not sure where he was in the process of that project, but I know that. I think Peter, you might remember, had he just come off of Book of Mormon, or was he preparing?
He was very fresh off of Book of Mormon.
That's right.
But I think that given how long animation is, he probably would have been on that
before, right? Because
Yeah.
I believe it takes them like 1.5 to 2 years to animate, so they do all the recording first, and
I mean, talk about the role.
Oh, the late René Aubergenois, that guy was awesome.
The best.
Yeah.
amazing. I know, such a funny performance.
Funny behind the scenes thing, Jenna had taken ballet classes when she was a kid with his daughter, so this was a reunion for them.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! And I saw that we just watched the episode where they had their dance number. That was very impressive. I wasn't around for the shooting of that because I wasn't in that scene, but I do remember that. That was fantastic.
Now, Peter, we're raising money for the Museum Moving Image right now.
Okay.
And we're up to $1,700 so far. Very early in the day, which is great. We've been doing certain stretch goals, so people will donate if we hit a certain amount.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat is asking, I'd like to challenge him to read 3 things off the dry erase board in the background. It's up to you. I don't know how private it is.
That's a show I'm working on, and I should probably go.
All right, July, you're out. Julie.
Should I do that? I sort of feel dumb because
we can't
about that.
We can't read it anyways.
Yeah, it's not visible. Do whatever makes you comfortable.
Okay,
Yeah.
It just could have. I mean, it's just
Of course.
be better.
Of course. Okay,
Thank you so much for pointing that out. That's a Lisa Hannah Walt watercolor.
But that
BoJack.
Oh, this scene.
Peter, is there
I
something?
had just seen Tenacious D the night before, and they did a thing where they had touched fingers like that, and it made a ding. And I said to Jason on set, I saw Tenacious D with Dan and Benji the night before, and then we were on set, and I said, "Can they touch fingers like that?" I have a pretty weird memory. Like I can remember things.
Weird things are recalling. Like I can't quite. If I hear the title of an episode, I don't really recall what happens in it. But then I'll start watching it, or I'll go through, the screen grabs, and everything comes rushing back. The very odd memories.
There's a very technical shot coming up that Jason Weiner nailed. It involves landing Josh under a light bulb so that he can have a light bulb go off over his head when he gets an idea.
So this is a Weiner episode.
This is a Weiner episode.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember we had alternating, right? It was Jason and then a different director.
Yeah, we had a couple of very good ones.
Jason did a lot. I think Jason did 9, I want to say.
He did do a lot.
Yeah, he did this season.
Yeah, you had Jason, Jennifer Getzinger, David Grossman, Gail Mancuso, Ken Whittingham.
Gail Mancuso, I remember, and Whittingham, I remember.
Here, George, I'm going to swap you over to your other camera because, George, you have to inflate or deflate?
Deflate.
Deflate. All right. George has a BB-8.
For Peter and Amara, George has an inflatable BB-8 from the new Star Wars movies. And at certain numbers, he either has to inflate it or deflate it. Now, inflating it tends to really wear George out. His face becomes bright red. He becomes short of breath. But what we have unfortunately learned through trial and error, and I swear to God, this is not a bit, it is not comedy, this is just the reality. The only way George can successfully deflate BB-8 is to put all of his weight on top of it and thrust his hips back and forth. I know it looks lewd, it looks bawdy. He has tried everything else. The only thing that works is for George Lucas to mount BB-8 and to put all of his weight back and forth on it in a thrusting motion.
Watto, Tom Sharpling is asking in the chat if he can pull together $1,600.
Yes.
He wants Watto to draw Penn Jillette on his forehead with a gun or with a pen.
Happily. Look, I will happily do that. For $1,600, Watto will draw Penn Jillette on his forehead. It will be a little tough to do. It would be easier to write Penn Jillette. But for $1,600, I will do anything asked for with a Sharpie. I have a Sharpie right here. I want to make it clear I won't sweat this off. It will last for as long as the live stream.
You know what? I'll double that as well. If somebody has an extra $1,600, I will now.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's for charity, people.
Would it be crass to offer this as an auction item?
Peter! I mean, whatever you want to offer.
Money changers in the temple? I mean, what is that? Is that a bad thing? I don't...
How much are we talking?
Raising money.
Now,
I mean, if you were to go to the store and try and buy that, you'd pay what? $7,500, $8,500?
Yes.
You're not going to pay $7,500, $8,500 today. You're not going to pay $4,000. You're not going to pay $2,000. You know what you're going to pay today?
Yeah.
$500.
Whoa!
And you know who's going to ship it to you? Me.
Peter.
Signed as well.
Wow.
And you know who's going to sign it? At the very least, Amara.
Absolutely. Whoa. I think Benjamin would be down too. I heard that. Did you guys have him on already? I heard he was involved.
Spoilers.
Never mind. I didn't say that. I didn't know that.
Now let's say Sharpling, if he donates $1,600,
you'll get it.
He has the option to claim it.
Yes.
But otherwise, you will wait for someone to donate exactly $500.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there was a moment there where I just got to shine a light on somebody that doesn't often get celebrated. But we had a joke on set. It wasn't mine. I think it might have been Laura Guten, but I can't remember. They had a good joke about being friends and family, and we needed a card that looked like an Old Navy card. And the prop gal that worked in the department that would put stuff out in your hand, it was like left for 2.5 minutes and came back with like a legitimately perfect Old Navy card. And I can't remember her name, but I would, if I had the crew photo, I'd be like, yeah, that right there. But she was a whiz. That's just like, that's when you're in the pros, you get stuff like that.
That's very cool.
I think Dan Hernandez is now in the chat, and I think they are agreeing to co-sign.
We have Dan and Benji co-signing. This is such
wow.
I don't know how it will work if one of them will write one person's name, the other one will write the other person's name. They work together as a team. I don't know if they will both start at a different end. One writes backwards, one writes forwards, but they will co-sign this.
I feel like I'm going to take Santa's COVID sleigh and drive around with a mask on before I get this thing in the mail eventually. But hell, let's do it.
Worth it.
I love it.
Pretty good bit that DB worked at Old Navy and she thought that he was in the Navy. Pretty good. A little bit of a stretch, but I loved it.
It's classic comedy. Yes.
Now, Peter, how did he do that magic trick? Did he really do that, or is that an effect?
That is I believe that was, oh, no, not the special China.
Robbie, what was Robbie on? He was on the X-Files a few years ago.
Robbie is in a bunch of things. Like
he works a lot.
The Duff and but even like a big thing on like a Netflix movie right now.
Robbie Book.
Now, Peter, you and I are part of
so many things.
Well, no, we're part of a special club, and there's a lot of us, but it is still a somewhat exclusive club of people who have written episode 4s. Not everyone's done it. Like, there are a lot of writers. There are a lot of writers who've never written an episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now you wrote yours. Did you write it after? Was it in order after 1, 2, and 3?
You know what? I'm a simp. I'm a fucking basic bitch. Oh, am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
I went chronologically. I just 1 came first, 2 came second, 3 came, and then big old
totally
comes along, number 4.
Totally fine. That's
I never had the vision like you, George.
Yeah. Well, but what did it feel like? Because that's actually kind of a burden. Because when you start with a 4, you have a clean slate. The audience is new to it. But when you've had the pressure of that 1, 2, and 3,
yes,
that suddenly you're under the gun.
Well, George, here I'm going to use Jenna Elfman to turn a triple play and bring us back to the baseball metaphor, that I can get at bat. And I saw myself as batting cleanup.
Yeah, yeah, in perfect harmony.
Yes,
because I want to bring the orchestra metaphor back too. I don't like to do the sports one without also doing the orchestra one.
And so then at the end of the night, after the qualified musicians have left, I sweep the orchestra floor.
That's right. With one of those curling things.
Yes.
Bring it back to sports.
I want to say, hang on. People are saying they will donate a lot of money, which is rad. It needs to be a new 1,600. So if you've already donated money, we're not counting it.
No.
We want a new 1,600. So let me add figure out what that would be.
Right, because people are pulling it together here.
Yeah, so that is 33.56.19 is what we need.
We essentially need to make we've made a little over 1,600 now. We need to make a second 1,600.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? Can I speak to one of the joys of being kind of a journeyman, which I see myself as? Is you end up in TV long enough, and you find yourself working with Renee, and you remember him from when you were a kid as Benson. And then I was thinking I was going to talk about game theory because I thought that's just the best episode, but I forgot that this is catching me totally by surprise, and now he's gone. But if you're lucky enough to do it for a while, you get to kind of have some you get to work with the Renees, and you go, damn. And I continue to have it, but I'm remembering this one now.
Peter, are you a Robert Altman fan?
A casual fan.
Yeah, no, because that Watto is those movies are very much on his wavelength, and Rene Auberjonois was in 6 of them, just fucking killing it.
Yeah,
I mean, you think Altman? I sometimes think Watto before I think George Lucas.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Should we give Peter a 1,600 name?
I think we have.
Yeah, let's give you Peter. Do you know that we're doing this?
I don't know. What is this?
Well, we started with our Star Wars Day marathon, giving people Star Wars names. And then for our Arliss Watchathon, we give people Arliss names where we turn the S's into dollar signs and other letters into sports emoji. But for 1,600 Penn, we want to give people their 1,600 Penn name. And there's a website that has been built just for this occasion.
Bleeding edge technology.
If you go to 1600pen.me, you can 1,600 Penn yourself.
All right.
Or any name. You can do it with any name. So
I believe
would we include my middle initial, which is how I'm credited on the episode?
Let's see. I don't know what that'll do, but here we go.
We've never done one. We've never done one with an initial.
Okay, so we're going to 1,600 Pennicize Peter A. Knight.
All right.
Okay, Peter, how political are you on a scale of 1 to 4?
4 being the most political.
Wow.
It's a
I mean, I guess will I ever not be 4 again?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
But probably 3 because I'm a coward.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay, here we go. 3. So your 1,600 Penn name is working.
And let's say the difference between a 3 and a 4 is huge. I'm glad you have adjusted at the last
Peter.
moment.
It's 1,600 Peter. That's
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Did you guys hey, where's Amara, by the way?
I think her camera crapped out. She should be back, hopefully, in a sec.
Okay.
Hopefully she'll be back to watch The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Tom Sharpling said that he just sent $600. So if that has gone through, I guess the sign is his.
I can confirm that. Let's see. We are at. Hang on.
Is that the Tom Sharpling or a Tom Sharpling impersonator?
No,
that is
Tom Sharpling of The Best Show has essentially become a one-man Statler and Waldorf for this live stream.
I tip my hat to the ledge.
And Tom Sharpling is about to own sign from 1600 Penn.
I will plan accordingly, Tom.
Great.
He's gonna have to rearrange his entire home around it.
But it's definitely like you keep it in your garage because you're like, what am I going to throw that out?
No.
It's like you can do bits with it.
Or you hang it above your bed, as sort of like a dream catcher.
Making important announcements. I mean, Watto, you run a junk shop.
Absolutely.
What would you, like?
I would pay at least 2 or 3 human children for that. Yes, it's valuable.
And would you expect that in resell as well, or would you?
Well, I like to make a profit.
You gotta leave a little room for Watto. I get that.
Especially because I just lost 3 good kids. I mean, if I were selling it, I'd be looking for 5 or 6 kids at least.
Yeah.
White kids. I should make it clear. I only sell white children.
Oh, here you get some plate shots. I think of where it looks like you're at the White. If you go that white shot, I thought that was okay. We shot that at Rancho across the street. Anyway, my time's done. Okay.
Peter, this is a big scoop. So you're saying that anytime they're outside the White House, it's a digital effect. It's a plate shot.
Watto, I think that you are putting words in my mouth, and I normally I like that. But in this instance, that particular scene was shot over at the end where they're making an announcement, and it looks like you're in the, I think, South Lawn.
Right.
You're just at Rancho Park Golf Course, and then they plated it all in.
So it's a double plate because there's also picnic tables with refreshments, so they're actually using plates in a plate shop.
Yes.
Well, let's see. We have a few more minutes, so I want to ask: did they build any part of the exterior White House? And we have Amara back here.
Hi, sorry, my computer died.
Was there any part of the exterior that you remember being built?
What about that colonnade, Amara, where there would sometimes be that was at Fox.
Mm-hmm.
We shot the majority of on one of the stages in Fox.
And you can speak to the pilot. Was that at Huntington Garden or?
The pilot, I believe, was at Fox as well. Actually, I think that they built it and then they preserved it for whether the show got picked up, because it got picked up. We shot it in April. I think it got picked up in May. So they had just kept it around as well as I remember for that time. Yeah.
Wow.
Amara, as I spin the page and I look at some of the other episodes, I remember you having great stuff in Frosting Nixon.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I actually just recently watched that episode on my own time. We shot that one at an actual school.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Sanjay wrote that one.
Yeah, that's the good kind of school shooting.
Oh,
Jesus, George.
What? It's what? I'm in favor of films being made at schools.
Sure.
At school. There's
George,
nothing bad about what I said.
That feels more like a Watto joke. I have to say that's a little off character for you.
Hang on, Dan Hernandez is saying the Rose Garden Galaxy parking is what he is saying in the chat. By the Galaxy parking lot.
That must have been on the sound stages. Where did you shoot the show?
Stage 8, I think.
Stage 8. Yes, you're absolutely right. Stage 8.
Peter, I have a question. And I'm going to ask this of everybody today. Okay, in the previous episode, in episode 3.
Yes.
There's a part where they open the refrigerator and there are 2 squashes or 2 gourds in the fridge.
Yeah.
And it's right before they take out some honey. No, not honey, syrup to pour. But they close, and we never see those gourds again. Why were there 2 gourds or 2 squashes?
I'm glad you asked, George. When it's negotiating time for me, my lawyer knows it is not just something I prefer, but something I insist on, that there will be gourds in the fridge. And
there will be gourds in the
it's
fridge.
A policy that's not only served me well, it's kept me sane.
Wow.
Props to the art department in that one. I know. It was a very interesting choice of refrigerator decorations.
Peter, I'm going to ask you again because I love that as a dancer. It was very fun. But do you remember those 2 gourds? I need to know the truth.
I have no recollection.
Me neither.
No one remembers these 2 gourds. You put 2 gourds. You put it on the screen. I remember when I shot episode 4 that we put 2 suns on the horizon. It wasn't like later on, I'd be like, I don't know how many suns we had. You make these things. These are choices that artists make. You open the fridge, there are 2 gourds.
It's true. Yes. It's true. There's no living it down. It will haunt us. I have personally set up a GoFundMe to digitally remove them.
I think there should be a Better Call Saul style prequel series to 1600 Penn called 2 Gourds.
Or you could call it Better by Gourds.
Yes, better heard Gourds.
Wordplay.
Gourd play. Some good gourd play.
Good gourd play.
Yes.
It's almost like I made a 1600 pun.
Oh boy.
What are the other, Amara? What do you remember? Like, what are your favorite episodes? I'm looking at the whole screen with a little.
Oh my gosh. Let me go. You know, I think this one that we just watched, the one with where DB was introduced, was probably one of my favorites. I just Robbie added some like an extra comedic aspect to the whole thing.
Robbie's terrific.
Oh, he was amazing. Like the way, I mean, everyone obviously, but that one with Robbie and then the rest of the season going on from there. The last episode had to be one of my favorites. Peter, maybe you'll remember because they had asked me before you came on what one of my most memorable moments of the shoot was. And it had to be the last episode, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm not sure what the scene was about, but we were all sitting and I believe we were all sitting in a group and there's a bunch of extras, and I believe it was something where we were watching Jenna Elfman talk and Skip comes barging in the room and with some kind of grand announcement. And I just remember Josh doing so much improv and just being able to come in and like just make everyone crack up. I remember Jason was like he couldn't get me to stop laughing. And I can't quite recall.
When you say a scene where Josh bursts into the room and says something that makes everybody laugh, it's kind of like saying, you know that time when Kramer comes over to Jerry's apartment in a startling way? Like, yeah, I can't land. I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally,
I know.
The last episode opened with that. That was the opening shot. Was Skip bursting into the?
He bursts into a lot of rooms. He comes in one time. He's mad at his little brother. He's mad at the postmaster general because his moon boots haven't arrived.
That's right.
That's an outrageously funny scene. I can't remember where you find that one.
I remember there was also one where he was went to the kitchen and made, oh my God, I feel so bad because I think Josh actually had to eat this. It was a gigantic salad bowl full of, I think, Skittles and whipped cream.
Yeah.
Was that? I remember.
That's right.
I remember in between shots at one point, Josh, he had to be eating breakfast or eating that maybe, and he looked up and he said, "Can we make one of Skip's Can we not make one of Skip's character traits eating?" I don't think I can do much more of this.
It doesn't seem fun.
Hey guys, I do want to say we have a guest in the chat or in the waiting room that I want to bring in.
Oh my God!
I love all the surprise visitors.
This is going to be a 1600 Penn reunion. It's Xander Gilchrist himself.
What's up? Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
I know, I haven't seen you in years.
Oh my
It's been a long time.
A long time, Ben.
I heard you talking about like how Josh was like, "Can I please just like stop eating?"
It was the breakfast scene or something.
Yeah. It's hazy, but I do. Oh gosh.
Here, let's start this episode. Frosting Nixon.
All right.
Very funny title.
Very terrific.
A Ron Howard joke right at the outset.
Another classic 1600 pun.
Classic Willow reference.
The
Ron
Frosting
Howard
is
directed
Amara's
Frosting
story,
Nixon.
and the Nixon is Benjamin's story.
All right, wait. Who just said 1600 pun? I'm sorry. I got to get this out of the way.
I know you'll hear a lot more of that.
All right, let's start this. All right, here we go. 1,
All right,
2, 3.
play.
Here we go.
So this is episode 5. Now, traditionally in
And
storytelling, this is like a darker episode where the heroes lose and they're on the precipice.
And they are talking about Norman Rockwell. They make a Norman Rockwell. He misnames Norman Rockwell.
Yeah.
In the beginning of this, I have one of the world's biggest collections of Norman Rockwell paintings. Me and my buddy Steve both collect Norman Rockwell paintings, and they're going to be in my museum in LA as soon as we can open it.
And
Museum of Narrative Art.
What's another thing happening this episode? Benjamin, your character just announced that you are running for student president. So that's very Star Wars. It's like you're following in the footsteps of your father, maybe trying to not repeat his mistakes.
In the
Yeah, well,
in the 1600 Penn Legends division, Sanjay Shah, who wrote this episode, right? Where is he?
Yes.
Why are you hiding him?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people stopping by. We got a lot of people.
Well,
yeah.
I want to tell everyone we're at 2636 raised so far.
Amazing.
So let's write 3356 is I draw a picture of Penn Jillette on my forehead. Patrick, I should say, because of Peter's comment, it is true because we've had this on the schedule for a while. You have at least tried to contact almost every single person who worked on 1600 Penn.
Yeah.
We have a lot more guests coming, but let's just say if you ask where someone is, it was almost definitely not for lack of trying.
Yes.
Wait, we're seeing the credit sequence that was not in the earlier episodes, a full credit sequence.
Yeah.
Whereas previously there was a very short credits blip, but this is the first time we've seen.
No, we've seen it because we saw. I think you were getting the yogurt. We saw the picture of Amara holding the mud.
But I think that maybe
That's the first time I've seen that.
I do remember that.
Is that theme written by Lovett and Ronan?
Great question.
Great question.
Wow. There were two people who wrote all the music for this series, and I do know that because I reached out to both of them. Let me pull up their names. Hang on.
Here's a classic like Promise of the Premise. You get the president and first lady taking off their clothes to get in their PJs or whatever.
Yeah.
Promise of the Premise. Let's go into we forget about the Oval Office. What's going on upstairs? Am I right, you guys?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, the square bedroom. That's what I want to know about.
Yeah. this is like Body Heat.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Benjamin,
how did
Lucas, you might be noticing the plate there.
Well, I'm sorry, say again?
I was going to say, Benjamin, how did you get this job? Did you audition, or what was the process like?
Yeah, I auditioned, and I'm just gonna come out of the gate here. I was not very optimistic about this audition because
You had a bad feeling about this.
I did. I had a horrible feeling. But it wasn't because I was like, unconfident in myself or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can see Amara right there. We were supposed to be twins.
Oh.
And I don't know if you noticed in the show, but I'm like 2 inches tall.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was in a room with a bunch of like tall boys.
Bad reference because I was a very tall. I still am. My entire family's tall, and I'm still tall. But I was very tall for how old I was too. So kind of like I remember because Ben and I tested together. So when they were testing the part for Xander, I went in and I tested with Ben and I think 3 other people. And I remember Ben leaving the room and they asked me, they were like, who are you kind of more comfortable with? And I said Ben for sure. Like,
thank you. I never knew that.
Also, there's
that way I got it.
there's also
very natural.
There's homage.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there's homage. There's paying tribute. But honestly, I think it was a good idea to have them not be twins because then suddenly it's like it's too Star Warsy. It's too. We're gonna say it's Luke and Leia, and Amara is born on Star Wars Day. That's her birthday. So like we can't have this just be a Star Wars fan fiction. We got to change it up.
Yeah.
I think
that's true. We would have been ripping off Star Wars heavily with that one.
That must be a great feeling, though. A great feeling to crush it so hard in the audition that they reconfigured the character around you. I mean, they broke canon.
Free lectures.
It was a really great
I know you were a kid. You did such a great job here because you totally believe this character every step of the way. And it's a young character playing it's a young actor really inhabiting a character. You're very young, and I see it sharp.
Well, thank you so much. That's honestly so fantastic to hear. Obviously, people love hearing stuff about themselves, but I always worry about stuff like that. So it's actually really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Being like the youngest kid on a set like this was terrifying.
Yeah. With some heavyweights. Amara just off of like a movie that won Oscars.
12.
Yeah.
12 time. I think we were around the same age. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I
plate looks
believe
so good.
so. Sorry, how old were you on 1600 Penn again? I barely remember how old I was.
Yeah, I was 12. So it was in 2012. I was 12. I just turned 20 now. So I'm always just the age of the year.
Wow.
Oh, lucky you.
No, another thing I do remember too, Ben, and I just haven't talked to you in so long. So I hope you're still illustrating, and I hope you're still drawing.
Oh yeah.
Super talented illustrator and animator. And
I'm working towards getting an animation degree.
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah, working towards it. I haven't done it yet, but
Yeah.
that's the hope.
Of all of us as the cast members for the final gift. Yeah, that's right.
Oh god, I can't even look at that now because it's so awful.
Well, Benjamin,
you were like 11 or 12. It was amazing. I would draw on iPad with Marie. Remember, Marie was our set teacher.
Benjamin, I just had a big idea. Okay.
What's this idea?
You know, we're raising money here, and we love to offer up incentives to get people to donate more.
Okay.
Peter offered up the original sign from the set of 1600 Penn for $500.
Oh.
Now, some
Peter,
weeks
show
ago,
it off, Peter.
he's got the sign. Everyone is going to autograph it in as safe a way as possible.
Oh wow.
Huge.
But here's what I'm thinking. A couple of weeks ago, WATTO offered to do drawings, Star Wars drawings, for $100. And WATTO is no professional animator, and WATTO also has not yet sent those drawings out, but they will be going out in the mail soon. Is there a number at which you will offer to make an original drawing for whoever donates that much?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. We don't gotta make it like too big of a number. I'm not that good.
Don't undervalue yourself.
What about, like,
Don't undervalue your work.
No, I can only imagine what your skills are like now, since they were that sharp when you were younger.
We'll say like shoot. I don't want to oversell myself.
Once again,
we got like $10. Is that
no,
too little,
wait.
too much?
How much did you say?
Way more.
Okay.
$10.
You insult WATTO.
Let's say the next $100 donation. The next person to donate $100.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. $100. I'll draw something.
Yeah,
do you want something specific? Like, you want a portrait, WATTO?
No, I mean, I think it's maybe their choice. You know,
their choice. That's fair.
I want to pitch something. I want to pitch something that I think people would bid for, which is a drawing that says 1600 WATTO, and it's WATTO as president.
I think that's good.
All right, I can make that happen.
Yeah.
WATTO, what's the day-to-day like for you?
rough. WATTO hasn't been handling quarantine particularly well. And, WATTO already was not working a lot before this.
I know that feel, WATTO.
Yeah, right? No, I mean, you have a run. You get some heat and then things dry up. So it was like, WATTO was in 2 of the highest grossing movies of all time. And then has yet to book his 3rd follow-up role.
Oh my gosh, WATTO, we're like one and the same.
I know, the only other project he's worked on was never released. So, I mean, it's, there are a lot of theories that WATTO perhaps is immune from the coronavirus because he is in fact digital and not a real living creature. But you got to err on the side of caution. So I'm very much staying indoors. I live in the Dakota, the famous building outside which John Lennon was shot. That's canon. That's where WATTO lives. But otherwise, not doing well mentally. No, not spiraling pretty hard. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm eating bagels.
How about you, George? How you doing?
George,
I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. Making movies all the time.
Why isn't
I make movies and I just don't show them, and I'm working on my museum.
I think we need to start on 1600 Penn season 2 with WATTO. He needs to.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
That would be the ultimate comeback.
Had a long lost friend himself.
But that's what you're pitching, Benjamin, because right now, of course, with coronavirus, it's very tough to resume live action production. But what could we sell tomorrow? Animated sequel spin-off 1600 WATTO. So we're saying
WATTO.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a second pitch for an illustration, which is the thing that we already mentioned, which is Better Hoard Gourds, the prequel about the 2 gourds that were famously in the refrigerator of the GILCHRISTS family in the White House. Benjamin, do you remember the 2 gourds that were in the refrigerator when you opened the door? There were 2.
There were. I know. I
don't remember the gourds. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't think this was like a cast secret. It was only for the eagle-eyed viewers, I guess. But
okay.
Yeah, it was an Easter egg.
Research on the gourds, so
That's
I can
the
accurately
particular
represent the
line there where
illustration.
Amara smelled the girl's hair that smells like frosting.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah. Oh, I might be ahead. Whoops.
I think I am way off. My stream was like garbage at first, and now it's playing. So I don't know. I'm on the season finale. Is that where you guys are?
Oh no!
No, we're on Frosting Mixing.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Frosting Mixing.
Hey, Peter. Hang on, George.
Right now
Peter,
you're
we do have a
talking to
question
your,
in the chat from
crush.
Tom Sharpling. He wants to know, did the political episode of Bratz that you wrote impact your writing on 1600 Penn?
I was radicalized on Bratz.
Would you go as far as to say you were radicalized?
I would. Yeah.
Watto,
I mean, we could dance
you
around it all day, Watto. We could dance around it all day, but hell yeah, that's what happened.
Nice.
And it's been a very steady. It's been a very steady climb from the days of being. But it's in me. It's imprinted on me, and I think I carry it into everything I do. I at least I hope I do.
I mean, the Bratz TV series was kind of like our generation's The Smother Brothers show, in that they were smuggling a lot of really transgressive political messages.
Yeah, it was nuts. I know. Mine was jam-packed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, someone just said something funny in the chat. Is Trump now president in the 1600 Penn universe?
Oh, Watto is president in the 1600 Penn universe.
You know
It
what?
is canon that Watto is president.
Yes.
It's canon.
I think Watto's president. Ben is or Xander is the press secretary, and I think Marigold is now outside with the protesters.
I was going to say, I think this has to be part of the drawing, is that Xander and Marigold are still part of the show, because it's a continuation.
Yeah.
It's not a reboot. It's a continuation.
Yeah, of course.
Watto is president. Xander's in the administration. Marigold is taking it to the streets.
I think, you know what? That would be canon, too, because Xander and Marigold always butt heads a little bit. I think that was going on in this episode a bit, because Marigold's getting influenced a little bit by the component, just because she was a very pretty blonde girl. So, you know, I can't.
And Benjamin, your drawing looks like it has been claimed.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So I will
get start drawing right now, or can I get that to them at like a later
You can get
date?
it to them whenever.
Okay, good. Because I'm a digital artist. Dude.
Yeah. I will send
If it's first before, I'm telling you, people would have definitely thrown down some cash for that. Maybe we should do a second.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, whoever got it.
It was
Benjamin,
great.
do you-
Make sure it's good.
There's a hot button gag coming up.
Patrick, what number are we at now?
Right now we are at 2779.
Woo!
Wow.
Okay, when we get to 3,000, it's cherry time.
It's cherry time. Okay, George.
And I just want to remind people, at 3,376, Watto takes a Sharpie pen right here, and he draws famed magician Penn Jillette on his forehead.
That was yep.
I cannot wait to see this.
Oh, we got another 1,000 to go. Come on, people.
It's so close. And then 3,700, we will get a second chair in the Museum of Moving Image movie theater with our name on it.
Yes, to make it clear for Amara and Benjamin and Peter, if you missed this, we're raising money for the Museum of Moving Image, a great place here in New York City. But for every, $2,500 we raise, we get to put a different name on a plaque on the back of a chair. So there will be a chair that says Watto.
Okay,
that's great.
That's our next major goal. Benjamin, out of curiosity, do you have any artwork in your room that you could show us on camera?
I am not in my room right now.
That's a scoop.
I have my phone right here.
Okay.
I don't know how well it's going to come up.
Let's try.
If you
let me see if I can find something.
If you emailed Patrick the art, we could put it up on screen. If you have anything as a digital
All right, okay. I'll see if I can find anything cool looking.
We would love to see it.
Now, Benjamin, someone stole your speech. That's what just happened.
It was completely uncalled for. Honestly, I don't know if I can ever forgive them.
You're a method actor, right? I mean, you still are angry at those characters.
Oh yeah, to this day. I never forget. Always hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Sanjay Shah, who wrote this episode, had spent some time in Sacramento politics, and there's a little bit of funny realness that creeps in about this caucus, for mass transit and sort of how these forces come together. I think he killed this episode.
That's funny. Did you have any political experience before this, Peter, or was this just hopping in? Yeah. Okay.
There he goes.
Now, Xander,
I remember seeing this scene.
Wow, I called you Xander. Benjamin, I asked Amara this earlier. In 2020, do you think Xander is the press secretary? What is your character up to right now?
Right now, my character is definitely getting himself plugged in, getting himself in the rooms he needs to be in, so that he can eventually take over the world.
That's good. That's good.
Do you think he's part of the? Do you think he's part of the WATTO administration? One of the people who's trying to keep him in check.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, Xander, top dog, has his hands in a lot of pots. So
yeah,
he's definitely taking part in the WATTO administration, actually.
Yeah.
So
you might be like Watto's John Lovett,
Yeah.
I like that idea. Yeah.
We should give Benjamin a 1600 name, right?
Yeah, let's give him a 1600 pen name.
All right.
All right. So
what do you mean by 16? Oh.
So this is the thing where we put people's names in and we do a few finagling, and it will make your name into a 1600 pen name.
This is a real website anyone can go to. It was programmed using state-of-the-art technology.
Yes. Here we go. So your name, Benjamin Stockham.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Now, Benjamin, how political are you?
Not at all.
Okay,
Like,
so zero. We'll leave it at
All right.
0.
Wow.
So your 1600 pen name is 1600 Benjamin.
Wow.
Amazing.
My
Wow.
theory is getting
How
a
did
little.
they do it? How did they get it so perfect?
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Amara, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's funny that your name wouldn't be 1600 Ben.
Yes.
Honestly, though,
Wait, yeah.
that was a missed opportunity.
Look,
You know
the
what?
website.
They are. It's science. It's science, not art. It's science.
It's
not art.
science.
I'm even more surprised that Watto didn't come up with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't win them all. I just
Yeah,
win
no,
98%
I understand
of
why. You
them.
can't win them
Yes.
all.
I think for Watto, it really kind of comes down more to X Factor.
Yeah. I mean, the joke has to sing to me,
Yeah. Right.
That's valid.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, everything that Watto says is written by me, so we're really one and the same.
You know, that's a good point, actually.
Watto's got like a little earpiece.
You know, Watto, I'm seeing you in a new light now. I don't know if I like it.
Watto is constantly spiraling over the issue of free will, because Watto feels like he is making his own choices in life. But of course, I know I'm programmed by George. I'm written by George. I'm just.
We are, but also
alien. Yes.
Sometimes I feel like you're writing me. I don't see where you begin and I end. We are a dyad in the Force.
Thank you. That means so much to me.
Now, George, hang on. This is a question for George and Watto. I just realized we are in episode 105, and I forgot to do something. Should I do it now?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a big surprise. You should all get.
Get on.
I am sitting up straight.
This is huge.
Looking
This
directly at the screen.
Look, I don't want to give people too much of a heads up.
Oh my gosh.
But this is going to be a game changer for this live stream.
George, is everything okay?
I'm getting hyped. I owe this to people. I'm getting hyped.
The yogurt didn't do it earlier.
Here we go. George, he's hulking out. He wants people to be excited for what's going on.
The Greek yogurt has hit him.
Yes.
I'm feeling some type of emotion.
It's like, oh no, he's drinking yogurt. He's drinking yogurt through 3 straws again.
Oh my gosh.
The straws are made of glass. They are reusable, so they're better for the environment.
Well, that's good.
There is microwaved honey in that yogurt, but it's probably room temperature by now. You're right.
All right, George.
Okay, let's go back to Patrick. Let's cut back to Patrick.
So
back to Patrick.
So I just got changed into an outfit I don't know if Amara remembers this outfit.
Oh no! Immediately, I kind of did, and I was like, "All right, what's going on here?"
Oh wow!
This is supposedly. Amara.
Oh
my gosh! I feel like I remember that outfit.
The ranch
Hold on a second.
episode when we all went out to Disney Ranch.
So it's not from this episode. It says it's from this episode.
I think maybe production order was different from airing order.
That might be right because this episode's almost done, but this one was definitely the ranch. I was rocking
Peter.
I was rocking the
Peter,
Oakley
you trickster. You did tell the story in a different order.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so proud of you, Peter.
Well, I need to say, Amara, these pants are way too small for me.
I have to. Yeah, is this like the? Did you go to the wardrobe? The wardrobe layaway, or these things you already owned, and it was just
Now there's a taxidermist Ventura who gave him a very good price on.
Yes, it was on eBay when we were looking for stuff to buy. This is what I purchased.
Wait, you're kidding? How did I know?
Can we get a full body shot, Patrick?
When I got information for those emails, I don't know if I'll fit them in.
Yeah, George, what?
Can we get a full fashion show, a full body shot? I want to see the full. I don't feel like we're getting the full thing. Is there any way?
Oh my god!
Yeah, hang on one sec. Hang on one
Can I
sec.
see that cardigan too?
Hey, yeah, Bryson, take me out of the screen for a second.
Yeah. So I want to just quickly say I checked. The episode this is from, it was production order episode 5, but airing order episode 7. So we will be seeing it in about 40 minutes.
That's right.
That is like.
Oh
my god!
Now, Amara,
that's for the donation.
I had to trim it to go down because I couldn't get into it otherwise.
Because you were questioning whether it would fit you anymore. Patrick had to mangle this outfit in order to get it on his body.
Oh my gosh!
Can we get Patrick? Can we get Patrick full screen for a minute, just so we can get some good footage that people can add fashion show music to? Just a full runway show. A full runway.
This is amazing. Yeah. How can I ask how much did you purchase that for?
$50.
How much for on eBay?
Wait, how much?
$50.
$50?
50?
$60.
All right, you guys are committed. Oh my gosh, I have to go and look if any of our other wardrobe is on eBay.
Do a spin. Do another spin, Patrick. Patrick, do a couple more spins with the arms out.
That's amazing.
Amara, it's not worth checking to see if there's other wardrobe on eBay. What are the odds of several different outfits from 1600?
What are the odds?
Actually, hold up.
And such a classic outfit too, because I remember there was major problems on that specific wardrobe day because the boots, I had to wear hiking boots, and for whatever reason, my feet were not fitting them. We'd already shot one scene, so and we were all the way out at Disney Ranch, so that was the less painful part of that outfit. Wow. So I'm glad you got those and not the boots.
Well, I'll say this: it's very uncomfortable.
All right, now you share my pain in a different kind of way. I know. I see they're kind of hiked all the way up.
Yeah.
It looks like a lobster bib.
Yes, it goes so far up. I can't do anything about it.
Knowing that, like, 1600 Penn stuff goes for like $60 on eBay. I feel like I have like a Vote Xander pin from this episode somewhere. And, I mean,
that is a national treasure.
Oh, here's the wardrobe tag. You want?
Oh my gosh!
Make me full screen, Bryson.
That's so amazing.
That's great. That is fantastic.
Oh, and that photo.
Oh, I am in that picture. Oh my gosh. Yep, those are a couple of twins right there.
No way! I love that. Wow.
That's right. I'm about to get that coin.
$60. I gotta say, $60 from a 1-season run show from nearly 10 years ago. That is a certificate and everything.
Oh, they don't forget, Amara. They don't forget.
Oh no, the value of it is still up there. Like,
it was worth it.
And rising, $60 and rising.
Yeah. I mean, it's only worth more now that I've slid it almost all the way down the leg.
It's pretty sexy, you get
you worked it.
That's how it should be worn.
Thank you so much. Oh boy. Oh, comfortable. Just so comfortable. Where'd Watto go? Did we lose Watto?
We lost Watto.
I hope there's another surprise coming.
Watto's got a lot of personality and charisma.
Yeah. He brings a lot to the stream.
It really does. That's why he's on screen. You know, you couldn't. I know that Watto has ambitions to direct, but you can't keep that behind the camera. You've got to get it out there and share it with the world.
That's true. You know, so George, actually, you know, I asked you this before, but I don't know if I don't remember if I got your answer. Why hasn't Watto been in any of the recent Star Wars films?
I mean, he has. Well, I shot a few hours of footage with Watto for episode 3 that really
makes sense.
It was really its own movie, you know, and it sort of distracted. It was a lot of Dennis Miller style rants where the camera would sort of zoom in close into his face. It's very political. But it wasn't, you know, story is king. Like when you know this, sometimes you have to lose your favorite scenes just because they don't serve the story.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that was my fault.
I mean, I get it. You can't keep a star from shining.
I wonder if Watto was in the shelved series. Apparently we were talking about there was 3 seasons of
Peter, this is a thing we should talk to you about. In the year almost a decade ago, I made 39 episodes. I paid for them myself. I fully produced 39 episodes of a Star Wars animated comedy series called Star Wars Detours.
I've heard of this. I've heard of. Wait, hold on.
Yes, and when I sold Lucasfilm to Disney, my assumption was if you have cartoons that are fully finished and then you sell them to Disney, what does Disney do with cartoons typically? They release them. They're not known for hoarding cartoons or not knowing what to do with a cartoon. And yet, because they were getting ready to rebrand, you know, they were starting Star Wars anew and they wanted people to take it very seriously, they took this completely finished how many full seasons was it, Watto? Was it 3 full seasons?
3 seasons. 1,600 pens. 39 episodes.
We shouldn't have asked.
Yeah. And
opened a can
Disney
of worms here.
put them on the shelf. They put them on the shelf and they remain unreleased.
Yeah.
To this day.
Well, I have
Yes?
a new injustice to place at the top of the list.
Once again, you have become radicalized by a cause.
Yeah. It's not
Disney, and now we are in a pandemic where people cannot leave their homes without a certain degree of risk.
Yes.
And so they need entertainment. And Disney now has a digital streaming platform called Disney Plus. With a press of a single button, they could release all 39 episodes. It would take one button.
Certainly chaos would ensue, though. I mean that kind of pure art, people aren't ready for it.
George, I know that you're a multicam fan. Yeah. I've read that about you, that's your first interest.
Oh, I was on Just Shooting.
You got diverted into film.
Yeah.
What about returning to your roots and doing like a Here Comes Watto? It's a multicam starring Watto.
Look, we would love to do 1,600 Watto. We could do that tomorrow. And I just confirmed.
That's single cam, though. Now, I do want to say something, and I haven't talked about this because it's so heartbreaking, but I think it was 2006, 2007, we did make a multicam sitcom starring Watto, and the problem was...
Sounds great.
You remember Watto, the title? You want to tell them?
What are you talking about? It was called What Are You Talking
What Are You Talking About? And the problem was, you know how when Kramer enters and the audience goes crazy and they have to hold for laughs?
Yeah.
Watto entered, he told his first joke, and then days went by.
Yes.
The audience couldn't stop laughing. We had to shut down production. I said, I'm a billionaire. I can't afford this.
It took 2 weeks to get through the first episode because people were losing their fucking minds.
Oh my goodness.
And I was actually we were ready to go. I thought, let's just release the pilot. We have it. It's hilarious. Yeah. I believe the Obama administration had just taken office. I got a call from someone, I don't want to name names, in the Obama administration asking me, please don't release this. It is a danger to society. And this is what every doctor and scientist had told me.
Right.
I had been told, and I was, you know, I had my vision. I said, we have to get this out. It's too good. But we decided it was not safe to release to the world. It was too funny.
I mean, it's much like what we're going through with this pandemic right now. They warned us. They said the amount of sides you will split, releasing this to the public. We don't have the beds available.
Is it set in Mos Espa, or is it like modern day? Is it present day?
Yeah, no. It's definitely set like in the suburbs outside of Chicago.
Yeah, if you, I don't know if you've seen the show. If you've seen the show Superior Donuts, a similar tone.
Yes.
A similar style, but with Watto. It's a different kind of thing.
And let's say also, Judd Hirsch was on our pilot. He played my brother.
Yes, that's right.
Juddo. He was Juddo, my brother Juddo.
Yeah. Oh, and he was great to work with.
Most underrated performance in Uncut Gems.
Yeah, he's great.
Either sensitive subject. Let's not go there.
Oh. All right, guys, we should start episode 6. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
So long, guys.
For having us.
This has been super fun.
This was great.
Yeah, hopefully we do it again sometime.
I got to meet my idols, George Lucas and Watto. Honestly, I should be thanking you.
I got to meet my idol Patrick,
we thank
and
you.
know that he idolized me in the same way. Those overalls on. That is a great homage.
I'll mail these to you. I'll mail these to you when we're done.
I want to say something
Awesome.
very clearly right now. 1600 Penn was produced by 20th Century Fox Television, now owned by Disney. The rights for 1600 Penn are in the Disney family. Okay? For all we know, Marigold is technically a Disney princess now.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
Right.
You're asking about where the development would have gone. I'd like to say she was the first presidential lesbian princess.
Yes.
Whoa.
And let's also say Disney loves animation. Other than Star Wars Detours, they've always been good at releasing animation. So Disney, balls in your court, 1600 Watto, Peter A. Knight as showrunner, Amara Miller Benjamin in the cast, Watto.
This is good.
Honestly, Disney, the next step
gosh.
seems
we
clear.
would just be there to lift you up, to push your phone.
I plan on speaking
We
to
walked so
guys
you could
very
run.
soon.
Watto, I will take a part of you with me today as I go away. Thank you for changing me.
Thank you, guys.
I
Peter,
will not be the
send you-
same after this experience
I will
in many ways.
I will send Peter the address for the sign. I will send Benjamin the address for the drawing. And Amara, I will let you know if we hit the point for National Treasure 2.
Oh my gosh, please do. I'm so
Okay.
excited to come back for that.
All right.
Hold up. National Treasure 2. What's going on with National Treasure 2?
Oh, I don't think you might have to come
Benjamin
back.
might be coming back. Benjamin, we found out that the set from the Oval Office in 1600 Penn was used as the set in the White House in National Treasure 2.
Oh my God. Are you serious? If you guys would have me back, I mean, like,
absolutely.
I love like all the national treasures.
Okay, so if we
You know, we
$592.
get Nick Cage on this as well. I think that would raise the bar.
Hey, if you got any connects,
Benjamin, if we hit 4,592, we're watching National Treasure 2 after this. So I'll send you an email if we get it.
Oh, awesome. Great.
Make it work.
Wait, would that be today?
Probably be today.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out.
All right, okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This was really
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you for
We'll see you
having
guys.
us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Now, when we do 1600 Watto, I have a pitch for a character because now we know that these walls in 1600 Penn are from National Treasure 2. Why not make them a character in the show called Wallo?
people say if these walls could talk.
If these walls could talk, well, they can now. You can have Wallow, and you could also have Wall-E because they could be friends.
George,
like
George, I got to bring in our next guest.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you might know him. He was Tony nominated for his role in Book of Mormon.
Whoa.
You might have seen him in Hamilton. You might have seen him in a bunch of other things, but you also might know him as tour guide from season 1, episode 6 of 1600 Penn.
Oh my
Rory O'Malley's here.
Hey guys.
Rory. O'Malley.
Honestly, people come up to me on the street all the time and they're like, "Are you the tour guide from episode 6 of 1600 Penn?"
This was going to be my first question because a lot of people cannot differentiate between fact and fiction. Do people ever come up to you on the street and say like, "Hey, can you explain to me the origin of this wall?" Like they want you to give them factoids as if you're constantly on a tour, constantly leading an educational tour.
Constantly. And I'm like, guys, all my research was just on the White House.
Yes.
and I actually didn't do any research in the first place. So
you're more of an instinctual actor.
It was more of like a gut thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Just say the words they give you. Just say the words.
Yes.
Yeah. Just let them flow out of my mouth like vomit.
Practical effect.
Beautiful art vomit.
I've heard the rumor, Rory, that you in fact refuse to read the script for any project you're on.
Absolutely. And if somebody hands me a script, I throw it back in their face.
Absolutely.
And call them an amateur.
Yeah. No, that's the way to work. That's the way to work. Yes.
Let's start this episode so we can see it in action.
So this is the episode you are in, Rory.
Yes.
Yes.
We just met Rory. Now we're about to meet the tour guide.
Yes. All right. So we're going to press play in 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Patrick, very good job booking with the timing of the episode.
There he is.
Here you are.
Right away.
This episode is starting strong.
Have you seen this episode, Rory? Did you watch it when it came out, or is this new?
I absolutely watched this episode. I watched all the episodes of 1600 Penn. I actually had just gotten off of a plane from New York. I was in Book of Mormon while we were filming this.
Yeah.
And Josh invited me to be on the show, and I had to take like a flight like the day before, like the day after I found out. It was really like a quick turnaround.
But
it was well worth it.
So this role, was this an extension of your friendship with Josh? Because you were in Book of Mormon together.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And we also went to college together.
Whoa.
So we were college roommates. So I've been playing the long game, just really like hanging in there in this friendship so that he'll keep employing me every chance he gets.
Now, so wait a second. You are randomly assigned as roommates in college.
Yes.
You didn't know before that?
No, I didn't know him until the first day of college. Yeah. And then we were in the same dorm. And then we stayed in this, like, we got a house with a bunch of other guys for the whole 4 years. So we were
at
college
first it was sort of an arranged living situation, and then it continued by choice.
Right. At first it was the college's fault that I had to put up with him, and then it was my fault for the rest of the 4 years.
Yeah.
Kind of a meet cute. And then what's the process of both of you ending up in Book of Mormon together? Did that happen separately?
Okay, so it's like the universe's sick joke, because our first Broadway show we did together was the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
You were in that show together as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Wild.
That was our Broadway debut, both of us. And I take credit for him being in that, even though obviously he booked the job. But I saw it in previews, and I saw Dan Fogler play this part, and I was like, oh my God, there's only one other human being who can play this part, and it's my college roommate, Josh Gad.
They gotta get
called
Gad.
him. I was like, dude, you've got to get this show. This guy's going to win a Tony, and you're the only other person who can replace him once he leaves. So he got it, and then about 6 to 9 months into the run, I got a understudy part in the show, and my Broadway debut was going on for him as William Barfay when he went to audition for Avatar.
Wild.
Wait a sec. Okay, so wait, but then did you end up you were originally the understudy?
I was an understudy only in Spelling Bee, so I went on like as 3 different parts throughout the Broadway run. But my first time ever going on in Spelling Bee was going on for Josh.
Wow. Okay, so they're all blowing my mind. And to be clear, do we know which character Josh auditioned for in Avatar? Was it Dick Sully?
It was I don't know, like the nerdy guy.
Watto will know.
Right. I think it was probably the role that went to Dilip Roy, or the role I'm trying to remember, Norm Spellman. I'm guessing it was maybe Norm Spellman.
He's convinced that he just didn't get it because he would look ridiculous as one of the avatars, like as the Smurf.
Yes. Okay. So then, that was Norm Spellman, played by Joel David Moore. Yes. Okay. Great.
It's also possible. It's also possible that he might have been up for a character that didn't make it into Jim's final cut, because I know for a while there I was saying to Jim that tree should talk.
Yes. And Watto read for the tree.
Yes, I said you've got a big tree in the middle of your film. Why not make it a talking tree? If it's so special, make the tree talk, like in Wizard of Oz. The tree's talking that.
Right.
And he said, no, it's not that kind of film. I said, oh, what kind of film is it, Jim? And then he described it to me. I said, that sounds like you could afford a talking tree. Like, I don't think anyone's going to watch this movie and the talking tree is going to be the deal breaker. I said, let the tree talk. Maybe even give the tree a song while you're at it. And at this point, Jim and I started to fight because I clearly had overstepped, but I still agree. I watched that film, and every time they cut to that tree, I'm like, I wonder what that tree would say or sing.
I don't think you overstepped. I think that's pretty generous of you to give any advice to him.
I mean, and imagine looking a gift horse in that mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the highest grossing film of all time, sure. But can you imagine how much more it would have made?
At least a few more bucks.
Just a tree with a big schnoz.
Yeah,
sounding like WATTO.
I do think he's playing. I do think he's doing it correctly, taking so long to make the next one. I think that's how you do it.
It's the right way to do it.
People will only love it more if they have to wait for 15 years.
Yeah. If they completely forget and stop caring and don't remember anything about it.
Yeah. What you want, ideally, is for people to see Avatar 2 and become furious because it's not the Avatar they remember. And that can only happen if you leave so much time that you as a person are changed. The world has changed. The technology has changed. Everything has changed.
Right.
And then people will be angry just because people hate change.
Right. George, let me ask you, do you think that Jim, as you call him, will go back, and since technology has changed so much, he will update the technology of the original Avatar?
I don't think he will, because if you watch Titanic, there's a shot where the camera pans around the boat and you see a guy who might as well be an 8-bit character on your phone walk across like an animated character from a 1920s black and white cartoon. The captain walks across the ship deck or whatever, and then they cut to a real person. And if he won't change that, I don't think he's going to change anything. He's too busy.
It's like something from The Sims.
The only way that you could get James Cameron to do a special edition is if you tricked him by telling him it was at the bottom of the ocean somehow.
But see, I'm trying to be optimistic here, right? Because George, he did the special edition of Star Wars, and he added this beautiful Jabba the Hutt. And Harrison Ford steps on the tail, and Jabba goes, "Whoa!" And it's so funny, and everyone loves it. It's the best part of the movie.
Scene of the movie.
So once a week, I send Jim Cameron a message on LinkedIn, and I just go just hear me out. Special edition Avatar, Watto's the tree, and every time someone steps on the roots of the tree, Watto goes, "Hey, go!"
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, talk about amping up the grosses, because they've been dethroned by Avengers now. They need to make more money.
That's true.
They need to get back that #1 record.
Now, Rory, so far we have raised $2,831 for the Museum Moving Image.
Wow.
But I want to say we did surpass a stretch goal that I feel like is perfect timing for Watto and George.
Right.
So one of our stretch goals was that Watto and George need to sing a song from Little Shop of Horrors, and I feel like it's perfect that you're here so you can give them a little critique.
Now, Rory, in the musical Little Shop of Horrors, there is sort of the Greek chorus of the 3 women.
Yeah.
Do some backup. Would you maybe want to do some backup on this as George and I serenade each other with Suddenly Seymour?
Absolutely.
And George, I forget, do you want to play the Audrey role or the Seymour role in this rendition?
I'm fine either way. What do you think is the best casting, Watto?
I mean, look, Watto's got range.
I think Watto as Audrey.
All right, so I'll do Seymour. All right.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right. Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Let me get the lyrics up. I need to make sure I have the lyrics with the delineated who sings what part.
Who sings what? All right. And this is Suddenly Seymour from the musical Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, I have it here. Okay, whenever you're ready, George.
All right. Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour
is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early. Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers, me. I'd say sure.
Dun 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 dun.
But suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour
is standing beside Watto.
Standing beside Watto.
Don't give me orders.
Dun 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 dun.
He don't condescend. Oh, suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour
is here to provide Watto.
Dun 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 dun.
Sweet understanding. Seymour's Watto's friend.
Tell me this feeling lasts till forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say.
But
suddenly Seymour, we both sing.
Suddenly Seymour,
he purified you.
Purified you.
Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour
showed me I can.
Yes, you can. The girl that's inside me with sweet understanding. With sweet understanding.
With
sweet
Seymour's
your
Wow.
The whole point of the special editions was giving people a chance to see more. That's why we added scenes and visuals. Like when you're in The Empire Strikes Back and the scenes on Bespin, we cleared the hallways, so now you see more through the windows.
Suddenly see more.
Suddenly see more.
You're suddenly see.
Now, Rory, how many days did you shoot on 1600 Penn?
37.
Yeah. Wow,
37 days.
That is a long shoot.
I'm
sorry. We have a main narrative we have to get back here. This is nice. This is sort of live stream legends, but let's get back into the main saga. So the year is what? You are understudying in 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Well, that was in 2006, 2007.
Okay, so you're understudying. Josh goes off to audition for Avatar. He does not get the role.
Doesn't get it.
Oh no, that was my last chance to voice a CGI character owned by Disney in perpetuity. He thinks that window is closed.
He thought that was that was it. So he comes back, and I was in the show with him, and then he got 21. He was in that movie 21. So that was like a big deal, and he left the show to do 21.
Poker movie, card counting.
Yeah. I got a straight flush.
Yeah. And almost as big of a hit as Avatar. And he left Broadway to go do that. And then I was like doing another show, and then I was doing this reading of a secret show that was called The Mormon Project, written by Matt and Trey and Bobby Lopez.
Yeah, friend of the show, Bobby Lopez.
Friend of the show, Bobby Lopez.
The best. Yeah. And I'll never forget.
It's such a funny coincidence because those three people later went on to write Book of Mormon. It's crazy that they were writing this secret.
They were writing this other thing about Mormons. It was weird.
Yeah. Wild.
They figured that out, and they were like, why don't we combine these two ideas and just do one? And I went to the first day of rehearsal for this reading, and Josh Gad was there, my buddy from college. I had no idea he was going to be there. He was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, no, what are you doing here? Like, I am the whitest person who ever walked the planet. What are you doing here, Josh Gad? And then we sang through the show for a week. And we were reunited apart. Yes. And and it was crazy. It was like, oh shit, this is brilliant. And it was like so good though. We thought, well, it's never going to be made.
Right. At that point, you don't know if it's going to Broadway, and you don't know if it goes to Broadway, whether you'll retain those roles.
Yeah. Yeah. And for 3 years, we worked on it. 3 years. Yeah. We would get asked to come back to work on it and learn new songs. And at one point, they were like, here, Rory, here's a song called Turn It Off. And it's, you know, about a closeted Mormon. And then all of a sudden I had this great song. And then the next time I came back, they were like, oh, actually, we turned that into a tap number. Do you tap? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a great tapper. And I was not. So I like quietly started taking tap lessons with, you know, second grade girls.
Good thing you had 3 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so true. If they had said like there's an open call for this part, I never would have gotten to do it. I had to basically train to learn how to be in that show.
I will say this: Watto likes to make jokes, but this is very sincere. Watto saw Book of Mormon early, not like early, but like in the early days of the run. I think shortly after it had opened, after waiting out in the rain for the lottery and whatever. Your performance of that number is one of the best things Watto has ever seen someone do on a stage.
Watto.
But it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that there were 3 years there because it was so perfectly honed. I mean, that number is really a skill piece.
Well, that's why, like, seeing an original Broadway cast is always so special because you're watching something that the writers tailor-made for that actor for years, you know? So it's like watching somebody in the suit made for them.
Yes.
And so it just feels right.
That's like Watto, like George made me on the computer. I was literally designed for Phantom Menace, so I just killed that.
No one else could have played that role.
Literally.
Yeah.
No one.
Yes. Yeah.
Rory, someone in the chat is asking, McClunky is asking, can Rory talk about his version of King George and Hamilton and how the pronunciation of the da-da-das is different than Jonathan Groff's? I loved his performance. Would you care to comment?
Oh, so they're saying that my pronunciation of da-da-da is different?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everybody has their own take on da-da-da. You know, I mean, that's the one part that Lynn really let us play with, I guess. I would say, like, it's so cool to watch the movie because I took over for Groff. And so I watched that original cast for 2 weeks. I watched 16 performances in a row. And my mind was blown, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go in the show and ruin the greatest theatrical thing that's ever been created. I was like, I'm sinking this ship. It was just like a lot of pressure. So to watch that movie brings me back to not being in the show, but watching it from the back row and being like, I'm going to ruin this thing.
Now, how much, when you come in late, how much rehearsal time do you get with the cast?
Oh, you don't, I mean, especially with a role like that where you're basically by yourself.
Sure.
I had, I think we did like 2 hours of a walkthrough with the cast, but it wasn't just the cast. It's not the cast for that. It's like, I only had 2 hours of wearing the crown. And then I was in front of an audience and you're like wearing these little kitten heels and this huge cape.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? If I don't fall on my first performance, it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win. If this crown doesn't fall off my head, awesome. Taryn, who took over for me, his crown fell off in the first week or something. Because it's not like strapped to your head. It can come right off if you go too far over. But it's nerve-wracking, but it's also like the greatest thrill ever to be put into a show like that.
Could you give us a quick da-da-da? I mean, America has been watching Hamilton all week on Disney Plus, but that is Groff's performance that saved.
That's true.
You know, comparatively few people had the honor of hearing your da-da-das.
That's true. I mean, I just think it's really cool that someone thinks that my da-da-das are unique in any way. I wish I could say that was a choice. Certainly not as many. I made more choices as Skip the tour guide in episode 6 of 1600 Penn.
Yeah.
But here you go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Everybody. Da da da
Thank you guys.
You guys got to
Wait, George, hang on one sec. George, what were you dying?
Da 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 da. Everyone does a da-da's different. Everyone does a da-da's different. You're right. You're right. Everyone has a different way.
You're incorrigible, George.
Oh boy. I want to give an update on.
What are we at money-wise?
Well, we're getting close to 3,000.
And 3,000, as we all know, is cherry time.
Yes.
Yeah, 3,000. George just said it's cherry time.
Yes.
We don't know what that means, but it's cherry time.
It costs $3,000 to find out what cherry time is.
Yeah. So we are at 284919. So we are $150 away from finding out what cherry time is.
How close are we to getting Watto's name on a chair at the Museum of the Moving Image?
It's 3,700 is the number for Watto.
Oh.
Now, Rory, did you meet Bruce Campbell at all while you were on set?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was he?
Yeah. He was great.
Yeah.
He was awesome. We were all just happy to be there, and I don't know. It was a really, really fun couple of days because, Josh he's a fun guy to be at the number one on a call sheet. I'll say that. Everyone had such a blast, and it was
Josh
great.
is a fun guy. Almost sounds like you're calling him a mushroom.
Well, I've called him worse.
I will say right now I'm looking at we have Bruce Campbell and Bill Pullman exhausted on the floor of the Oval Office after some physical activity. Mm-hmm. This is dangerously carnal for network television.
Yes.
Look at these two bears. Look at them hugging.
Bunch of hunks.
Yeah.
Look at these hunks.
Oh boy.
Those chins.
They
came so close to colliding there in that.
Those two chins are legendary.
They
we
are.
need to give Rory a 1,600 pen name.
Oh, that's right.
Rory.
That's right.
I mean, look, you already had one name, the tour guide, but now we're going to give you one for your personal life, not on camera.
Okay, great.
So one of our fans has created this website specifically for today, where you can create your own. You can generate your own 1,600 pen name at 1,600pen.me.
We should
public resource. The website exists. Cutting edge technology.
We should explain. We used to give people Star Wars names when we watched the Star Wars movies on here. And then we watched all of our lists. So we would give people our list names. So we would make the S's into $signs, and we would business and sports up their names. So 1,600 pen. Let me put in Rory.
Okay.
Is it Mally or EY? Great.
EY, yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
It's very important that we're accurate in this process, or it throws off the mechanism.
So next. Okay, Rory, how political are you on a scale of 1 to 4?
4 being the most political.
3.
That's a solid
Okay,
number.
Here we go. Next. Working. Almost
second.
done. 1,600 Rory.
How did it do it?
Isn't that great?
It's really advanced technology.
That's a big one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's a good name.
No one ever does.
Rory, how are you holding up during quarantine? What's been keeping you entertained?
My 1.5-year-old son, he is keeping me busy and entertained, exhausted, distracted. He's awesome, and there's some days where I'm like, oh yeah, there's people who are bored right now. Good for them.
Yeah, that's a good way to live.
I was up at 5 a.m. chasing him around. So.
Oh no.
It's good. We're great. I was going to open up Hamilton here in Los Angeles. We were the day of the first show, and they closed us down. But we're all out here. We're ready to go up when it's time, and it's going to be an even bigger celebration. And I don't know. This whole thing just makes me more grateful than ever for everything that we get to do creatively and being on stages. And So this is awesome too. This is really incredible what you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you. It's very fun.
I have a question, Rory. You have a somewhat unique career in that you've done so much musical theater, but so much of it is new shows. Even if you're not original cast, you're joining new shows, right, or you've originated a lot of roles. Are there any sort of roles in the canon of musicals that you sort of strive for, that you have? Do you have your sort of vision boards? I would love to finally get my chance to play this someday.
Absolutely. I would love to be in any Stephen Sondheim show ever, because I've never been in one, and he's obviously my favorite. But my number one of his shows is Sweeney Todd. I want to play Sweeney Todd. And I know no one will ever cast me. I will probably
Don't say that!
This is you putting it into the world. This is putting it public so everyone can see.
Yes.
George, can you do a remake of Sweeney Todd, the movie, and cast me? Just
absolutely, I could do it. Do you have a part that you have picked out that you'd like to play?
Sweeney, the title. Yeah.
He wants to play Todd.
The Demon Barber.
Todd. We'll just call him Todd. Just Todd.
Yeah.
Drop the Sweeney. It's cleaner.
It's cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean, Rory, you're saying it would never happen. If you ask me what is the single most important qualification for playing Sweeney Todd, I would say head of hair. And then Michael Cerverus proved us all wrong.
That's right.
You know, rules are meant to be broken.
You know your stuff.
Watto likes musical theater to a degree that people often find surprising.
I am surprised, and I appreciate that. Yeah. You're right.
Anything's possible.
Well, that's good to know. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Let me bring up the total before I let Rory go, because we have an updated total. We are now at, hang on one second. We're at $3,154.
Wow. So we're $202 away from Watto taking a Sharpie pen and drawing famed magician and political libertarian Penn on his forehead.
Yes.
In celebration of 1600 Penn.
Rory, thank you so much for coming.
You get it. You get it now, Rory.
I get it. I get so much more now. This has really cleared a lot up for me.
Good.
Thanks for having me,
Rory, there's no reason you can't play all the parts in Sweeney Todd. We can
digitally.
CGI.
CGI. You can play that judge. He's like hitting himself. Joanna, Joanna, deliver me. You can play that.
Thank you. We would not cut that one. It would be a part of it.
I would love to see what you did, what choices you made playing a pie.
You could play the little green finch and little bird. Have them have a little song.
Absolutely. I look great in feathers.
Yeah.
We got to make it happen. All of CGI, one man Todd.
This is gonna be way bigger than Avatar.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rory.
Thank you, guys.
Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.